Dr. Transfer Buakago. School Junction, and our Obojima 0244 774282. Now, the doctor answered to the common natural complement and say, Mimi Sao say, or Johnson, some Senate here, what Johnson, or Johnson, what your answer to him, and Oposa, or Johnson. I have just sent them and call from our wardrobe, a postal capsule, Sanabanom, maybe also at all Kamadama, Truman, India, a Banrick erection, premature ejaculation, one be Congo, Aitwan, so one, two Kokase, a phobia, Jariana, or Gino, Tino Sanum. Why do you wouldn't be an answer to a kama and us at the amount of pay? Maybe a ton to be our corner Drobe. Now be us at your kama 0249 017101 natural for and so at your boko Ruta natural product and Rodium Yesa, Ruta mixture and wow, no malaria, a 2 year and sweat with them all and so one said to Honamia, a free Ajma day and also to a said them all and what Ruta live and about one and Mojana and Circulatiano and sweat to a circulatium Biako Kama, Ruta Ebwao, about typhoid fever to us. And us at the Mason say, and only a dry 2 time for us, and answer to them about beer turn to Bia, walk on us, walk on 0242 662220. Now I'm penny for answer to Akasa, I can for Banyo by hospital. Barsamin can't say, nay, a dear Anna how, one Casa don't pay us or Casano, ya dear by any womb, say be a cancer, I hope and Nasa Casemo, and Umpasa Casemo and Artichma, say be a nay, a dislocation of arms, and Umpasa Bacha, who go to get and ne waka kobobo ana say bia wan bobo kra wanya accident bi ana adiana kwakobu amsrewada fakoma ba hospital na almost 80 more sons onu ko de e ba ne se no mpem yade otene se te ana enso timi adiama etika ne se no so ma se odba kwakoda no so etima hwe ama bias eto kama diama wana bobo na enfo mani nchemu ho ne mpomo so nkwai na pira na mo prepare nya no entu ase mfama mo anya no nko ana osa e ba no stroke no joya de e ba no gonorrhea me gonorrhea chawo so pa no atamfo ba abesa yade ama bia so etima kama kuma se atonso go behind our hospital and cry hospital road 18 junction 0244 988004 nani atamfo ba so etima di nkomo na udim sam they say pipe no ya tutututum enu ntime sawada e wo so nya polytank se na be ya nei won so obetime as save water ne be na podi bi aso se na be ya tutum cha enu so entime ha na so polytank aso ba ya since 1992 and polytank aba a save Ghana for ama Ghana for bias e bo maba so sempo o me number 1 trusted air tanker we betime store nsuo eso etu ma bias etu kama na so world cup season we polytank say obama experience na distance anytime Ghana ni bia us Ghana Black Stars ebobo bia no Ghanaian nese odo mo dana di echa Black Stars so dona almost dana di answer to the chance surprise how do bebre and pato so betima win e World Cup mo through polytank etu dia nese obekọ koju dia sosia na bia so etima kama polytank papa na ankasa nie na was wetima ayisu Lawson Beverages Complementary say men can just Lawson Dileman Betters no wo so wetima adia ba na ba se bia ba ma unti mo pam baby one the boy nyasese na ba besenko ba bi so no 2 minutes 3 minutes offer me so ko pe Dileman be bitters libenom na anonso entu asenso 80 from afro jo so tia Dileman bitters Dileman aye capsules no eno e ma na ko feature no mo bom nsa no obebu ko feature obebon nsa no twadwadwosa wado ne onu bia ebeko eno ati se bia koko anopose cholesterol na do so so to nipadua ma Dileman capsules ana bebo na bia so eto kama dama droi ba bia ton do bia ko no so to kwakojo de 0248619999 eso etiabon koma semens ayaba ayaklinik say men kan fan chose wenum ayo number 1 eba clinic and also etmaba e bonem eban ulcer typhoid e bit sciatic stroke so also an STI ya de bia eteto bia no me so de kwakodom no mo so etimatu ase and so etibida me son say kidney problems yan almost solve eso etima semens eba clinic wo kwa me patom de nubrania aban e be say ya de before no obekwa lab test awdo and eba mfidia wo mu obi eba ne scans awdo betwa ni nyina no omakachi ebi ho no ka nesa so do ni chebo kumasi asokorimampo yana asokorimampo robank edin shanimo 0240826995 na so nem penifo so to come Alaska Star Enterprise enye na Alaska say about original wallpapers blankets 3D and opposite 5D natural designs and up PVC floor tiles artificial grass and also opening no what about that Alaska nem pono so etwa bono source etwa come now dem and sweat my fair about the sofa covers or the biaba decorative watches and floors no what one chip and sweat to come Kumasi Aduma yɛde boss from Eddie Shanimo Edward and Crime your circle titole honma I have friend number 0200281080 Nanya Alaska and some etoboko power specialist about hospital you me doctor Kwesi Adia and you know say young confront others I say name about fatty liver and airtight to hypertension and non-person hepatitis B, C and non-person A and also HR by a better and I'm sort with them all. When you call your day about malamis adiaba, malaria fever una ne jane, cough care about Mr. Oboku care and I'm also better jane and watch a day about tonic no wouldn't to me any dear ubedity. I'm a beyond some at your command idea, maybe a turn drobia oko, not also what to me aqua jibi, no hospital and cry. Joe Cabrena ACP Road, Power Hospital bus stop, Kumasi. Feyasabo some chukana so a day junction or kodo and so to attack the energy estate about Tamara Bank Limited 0244-544422 Nanem Penifon sweat me akasad your number one nurse a full supplementer I am not bread and sweat trouble mafa Mr. Way a Daniel Bedia about Boma Dia Sato Kamadamano Imletaba supplement and Nabuao Nakai Nesanos Arms African Tankeba from a Sirica Resa Santa Diaba and Intimaso to Tubika Noko Kwajibia Nedi that way you didn't say Obediama talk about wow I support to nurse me system no and I feel general be a manager brand but be a turn to be account say kabi 0535-112-873-924 and some at me akasa Kojak farmer some can say go with the nurse and Kojak nurse charcoal toothpaste no and I'm sweat me the bedja so no patoba cartet no near the bority near BD near the afra no po their chichu so nurse ya bro the man of the bianso at your con their choose so send up fita and bians at your come nay Kojak for and some estimate at the god dem kama just a okoko isu nempo was so sweat and yan what them up and pass up fita John the kitwa and in the case to a kwajo there a banner nurse Kojak regular for light toothpaste no so oko nurse kwajo there no bow no and some I'm one man so at my ham. Never be asked at your come at the manano pay, but be a ton and then an opposite be a top pest bialka. We say come 0244-559597. Nanem penny for and sweat trouble come Careste Company Limited say. Go with the Zara Mr. Energy Capsules and sweat with your bar. Nebi and Sans have a good common so. An opposite Gonoria Syphilis Brazia and I tell you what doing you and what your stomach also a una ne Johnny, Mr. Compared Raven, Nassane, who we are not Zara Man Capsules and sweat with the Mabemano. Bema sabi ewu asini trase me so wadro ni onumbia anam enso betima kowia hindi aba mixture anam enso to adwaso na ano dia malaria fever eba ne typhoid diabetes na beto so dem ba bia ton do bia kono kwakojo de 0246348334 na so ne penifo so to akasa 3p garlic mixture if we plug for akate we aye dupa ebeboa essence unim nurse vitamins enemy nurse or nurse garlic mo entumi no wa metutum ka esia na kwakojo me de so tima bo na bias eto kama mesraw 3 pin o osa ana pesa o nurse asthma wonya do bia ebetu ase dem o eno ati stroke anyo ya de go jonsa o tie we mo menstrual pains one maso na na titete aya 3p garlic mixture anababo na bias eto we free work for kate edo so top pete Ghana there's a pharmaceutical any about subsidia obeko no kwa jo de 0248928824 edin kobo.
Whoa, Mate, ye crown no na ye day and seminal ama onano pay on the show na high sense and pen for no World Cup you almost wasne and I just say ye day and Jumedi Emma onano pay high sense and say cause one to TV net all a almost sound system TV no from 32 inch and 116 a inch and Aye high sense said na was say ubomodi anso bama so account de nyina no wo gibi e wo showroom arches no enso aben wo to bi enso awia mo che say wo defect warranty enso our product no so ana ebiem so ebesa che edema no ana de hwe World Cup na ba enjoy practice no so enso am so when you promo high sense empen for no enso edema number no go free 0302 550000 na chasa one high sense empen for no enso enkasa enano pa fei ye kanfo aye Pemsan Company Limited omo enso eno no ediamount na adwono wobenya Guy Malamix enso awadwa so tumedi edini nyina no sa Guy Malamix na no ana chesa boama malaria wutu ase kama uyobi a wo hwana se bia o monitano pai na wutie ne mpokra wo dia no so malaria na dunya wadwono so aya Guy Malamix ana chesa na ababo afei wo mo de prekasa Guy prekasa garlic mixture no enso ade abadwa so na ɛno nso dwumadie no nsom ɛne sɛ ɛma mogya tumi de afusane kama ebiem nsom ɛne sɛ woyɛ obi a mogya no nkɔma yɛ sɛdeɛ ɔsi pɛ na afei wɔbɛ sɛ immune system ɛnya ahoɔden apa na ɛfight ɛde tia nyadewa wodoɔ no ɛyɛ drug fa no sɛ agan prɛkɛ sɛ garlic mixture no nsom ade bɛboa wo yɛka gan no wagye so ɛto sen no nti no ana ama cement vita helba mixture ne the capsules ana afei prɛkɛ no nyinaa no wɔmode ɛno nsom ade aba wotɔ bi woyɛ bɛma bɛnom woyɛ banso a wobɛtumi ano bi na onom no yɛ no wahyɛ no nso ama me sɛ nom ɛna ɛbɛboa wo ama kyɛ sɛ wo a woni atenka ɛwɔ mpam ɛne wakyi ɛm sɛ ɔyɛ bɛma premature ejaculation afei wodeɛ ne yɛ low sperm count no nso ɛne adeɛ a saa duro no ɛna ɛbɛdi wo akagyina mu ama ɔdwumadi a wogye no nyinaa no nso ayɛ kama severe waist pain ana afɛ ba no sɛ wo sciatica no ɛno nso yɛw no nyinaa bɛkɔ a ɛno ayɛ agan ana ɛwɔ sɛ wopɛ bie ɛnso ɛtɔ wotɔ duro no wie a wofrɛ number no ɛyɛ 0500 888890 na kura baba so abanuma duro no wo nso akyerɛ ama bitiawa mu no wo nso mwagye wayaresa KFC anie na wow do no KFC for say wo ana sade aba na we ayɛ 35 Ghana pa wobɛtumi agye KFC ɛwɔ branch bi abɛn wo gye akokɔ na ne kama no wobɛsan gye ne yɛka no sɛ ayɛ chips ɛnsom ade asɔso tomato sauce no nyinaa no wobɛnya no afɔ nso atumi enjoy kama no ɛnsom ayɛ KFC adeɛ entiansa na akwadaa no kora bɛpɔn school aba na watɔ bi ade ɛse fie wo pani no so bi a lunch ana wo pa wiai wobɛtumi agye bi na afei wo nso wode bi akyɛke wo afa ɔmɔ kakra ayɛ 35 Ghana pa na kyɛ also agye KFC wa bra we no enso aye wow deal anene wo so sade aba aye finger licking good enso anie na Solak Biochemist Limited omadro no ye fa no Zipman Plus aye Zipman Plus aba capsule no eno aye prr panyai ya system e wa bra we enso aye instant obete dene eno aye Zipman adro wo so sade aba se we ye bema na wo be se bia boost sexual drive wo empema fei wo be no madro be ma siadia kwabo no dro na man ya kana se low span count no ana cha so do boss ana ho aba besene no ni nyina nso abeja wo be bema mu na afi wo so aye dwuma ne ye awon paso na ono yire ensom afrom pa kai say Zipman Plus omo capsules a wo mo som ade aba essence we no aye instant entity o ya ye nsuo wo be yi aye capsule no mienu na wo di nsuo piano no abo o ba no say wo start to dwumadie ensom prakopa eni sunsan so bani bia oni praduano so enti we aye draw se kwan bia so no wo pa bi enso twa no ana bebo na afi wo so what the number no ya 0245616028 na Zipman Plus no wo so waje odiare kama na MB fast food ano aye manable na manable say woke up ebia ofie wo enjoy na chesenso tutotoi wo be se bia place order kwan ho enso anama so betimi place aye order na fraduane bia be so de bia no wo so enjoy kama make say no fried rice enche bia be yadwuma chese no ebe ben amamu amu place aye orders mo sa kamo de an kama sanya fried rice ana opa na jollof rice ana opa ni nyina no wo benya bi ato pizza nom ana fe make say aye rice and stew ni nyina no be MB wonom ana be serve kama say wo fia be so place ana so wo dwuma mo be so place ay order delivery no wo mo be ne kama ama na afi wedding ana chesa party sa wo ne engagement ne mo hye mo a mo be say mo kika ma no kakra no nyina no mo ne eye manabo enkasa oye dwuma e wo kronom na ne branches ne dog so pa as many as 9 branches ana MB enso abie eye 0249030830 na MB enyo so ebi enie se new branch no wabie entimo amobesa mo ko aye kasoa millennium inside eno aya dadela stop no ebi ewo hon ma oye adwuma ana kuma se kwara so dwuma se aye mema ketecho no ma pe ana on sansom abekan ebi se wo ba so yo bia posa wani tabia no wani aprunso adene ben wo a won hyedan huni e ewa kyenso kwara no na kyese ha dwie pa no wo be ko ama ebi enso abo afei eba no sa glaucoma ne ya yɛfa no sa cataract ɛtɛ ana atɔ wɔne ne so ane nyinaa no wɔbɛkɔ ama ebi nso aboa no afei wɔn nso wɔnya wɔyaresa no kama stroke no ana mpokwa no prostate enlargement ne nyinaa no ɛno nso ɛbɛgyae number no yɛ 0541565199 na kyerɛ sɛ ebi nso ɛnyɛ osu yɛmmerɛ no afei yɛma mɛhwɛ yɛn question of the day amusu pii adaroma no yɛde ɛyɛ question of the day no ɛnso ɛba na amusu say yemza sɛ wote ɛyɛ world cup a player bɛn ana ne din ɛnso ba ɛyɛ wadwe mu sɛ when we hear world cup, who is the first player that comes to mind? Wote ɛdin world cup na player bɛn ana yana ɛdi kan kora ne din ɛnso ɛba wo tirim Paul.
We there I know ɛdin fancy but they are very fine. Now, fancy you say Ghana for so kasa. Yentie Ghana for said the Ghana for so etimi akasa about World Cup no. Na bibians etimi ko kama na when we stream na say ana me wo ha stream na say ana me wo. Ebenezer and so edene dia about it no say my thumbs up. Afema we say John Mensah and so I say FC Barcelona o no the five emojis bebre aba. Please okay the booking code okay. First Di Maria, what about Olise to Real Madrid? Ono ebisa no Clement Ejako Adia Odaban Abbas Zakari, good morning to you and Abbas Ediaba. Afena no Kwaku Opoku and some as well share live and Odiaba. Maun say ene Daniel Mensah as good morning to you guys and also Atumedia Banana Coffee Justice and some monetary freeness and a CMB market Accra and also Atumedia Clement at the end medical and Kama and so it was fancy Di Maria.
Wo Mount anani kunsu kojo krom say Luis Suarez anani din ebani tinema fei we so Jules Wyclef say Baby Jet and our take World Cup on Kana just one kind of Benjamin Adanso on YouTube say Baby Jet Samoa Jana fei we so say Ronaldo Cristiano or no Kwaku Sedom ana Kwaku then a message no abaye now Solomon Manfon so say CR7 ana David Okansi was say Pele and will take a World Cup. Yana ni din and some abanitrim. We say Baby Jara Samoa Janano Benjamin Jamaican and so a Jama Fay. We so say Nicholas Jackson or say Elijah. And I was saying so a day Diano a day Abanchanua Mosa Farmo Os and I say code. Mamen fa I have 5 codes Emana Comra. Quick one. BW5C 0D2 BDB and here 450 O's and 320 O's any BW5C 0D4 7D4 okay well BW5C 0D4 CF5 and here 8 O's BW5C 0D4 FE5 and here 7 O's and a rollover and here can't say a no rollover a 2 O's and here they starting there a daily tiana diana boa ya besan de scan atwa so nyame ya mo chena na atwa so sa akusi time awa pese we scan e de ye de obeso de enti rollover BW5C rollover BW5C sorry 0D5 85D okay won't see yen call a foreign emrana to asunafi yenfa diakano and so and famao Facebook omasanje t yen live or YouTube sunti yako foreign abana ye the latest and so amana Friday yen komra
Angwa juma no you Yame wohoda Se uji didia Obeya juma Asa chrenia no you Yame wohoda Se uji didia Obeya juma ye bompaye Shamaki Israel Yehovah Elahenu Yehovah Ekad we ahata et Yehovah Elohika bika luvika uvika naveshika uvika miyodika tode yashak in English in the name of Jesus amen.
Amen. Shout out, come on, boy, Kapo. Say, Kapo, chairman. I feel like chairman. Yes. Now, baby, be answer. You got time at Taboku Casamu. Some messages and a benino be say, hey, oh, chairman, yeah, dear pass, say, watch me assemble. I just quite be coming, and papa, me.
Now, guess it is okay. How? Guess no. Me say, how many boys in this year? Me say, guess it is say. Who to be sponsor? I don't know about what.
Chairman.
Angwa Juma no you. Yami wohoda. Se uji didia. Obeya Juma. And such renia no you. Yami wohoda. Se uji didia. Obeya Juma.
Yeah, Bumpire Mexico City, and so I am Mexico, Chrono, and what came a Baswa Fay, one Manchester, I was a Basso, our Canada, ne mountains, so Anna Shua, so for whom coming in, Yababani Ababa TB, and other person, Adiama, one of some gamer, and also Basso, our brother, Aya Saramica Fono, one so much trouble burning, and latest, I mean, many just for say, you can club on Mariate, woman, you know, what to come area from and come out, club Mutin, and answer, one more IOBM, World Cup. And one game, no, and some especially Bobo Kuana Somaya, your father says, Salami Kamutian, one of some other watchers were enjoy a yes, I World Cup Jumedia, and also about the latest update in the morning. Yadiano so Ababa, Yabete area see, I yet throw some market to me about Sadia, one some Amatompono, and also Bessia Coach, Saragwan manager. Your father say you can club, and no Casino, will be on some club, or you'll be on Etifie, one coach, but and come on, Ebony, was it you want to just end one gamer and on about I say opening match, or for some club, I say, and yes, or enjoy some gamer, and on some about I didn't know, and some I enjoy a yes, a gamer. We want to say you want to just and what Tim Slim, you know, Amatompono, not just and on some our form or canning, was say a bad tactics and a manager. Your father say, I'm here a gra on the coach, I am Mexico, a BM, and some your coach. Your father say, who got Bruce, or no, and some other coach, I am a fan of a friend. Woman so Tim manager way, I was so just I am bad tactics and a Chesanwa. Woman, you know, some other boy, I just a man, now what can was a quarantine, and I am Mexico, our ball 11 against 9. Not just sometimes, America for no, woman, some I am red card, I am tuning in at Grano, not just Mexico for I said, your bonus, and your papa biasa, woman to me and catch a young crafon on the break, and some went to me, answer, and yet you may be a was one way. Now, the all canning in answer was say, Omo can't attack Nanya, now, Unimiantia, and almost as a day, and was so just a defense, I'm said defenders, and you're too slow. Now, you're too slow in Grano, now, so problem a Babakua, now Bamianu, a Babakua, now Bamianu just throughout the game, according to your club, and some others were just say, not just problems, I will move from start to a finish as a woman some area game, and was Saramica Timino, woman take advantage. As I said, Juba, woman, Bakumi, Rubia, Nankamo, some other to me, I had general, what do you pass and what game a Barcelona and no, and your high love for Sadie. Yes, see, Panasan can be a World Cup, and why the way called now we are banner, Bono, Antessa, Bouncy, Cancel, and answer, I didn't don't affair, and when you sign a match, and also according to coach, what do you about some match ready a match Bakua, and said, Robaswa Canning answer, Nania Shadan Yaho, and on Ayasama, one coach, I found your game club, and also Maria Tuka. Now, who got Bruce and a coach, I have a fan of a fan of Tim and Openo, made an exams up by a coach, and some other sort of Namatombo, and not bad the sound was say, woman, are good game, Yanam so Emma Saramica for lose and game no was a baby no consider a year chances every near baby any kwasanka lose a possession a normal lose ball any not just a disposal on them and no and a cow Emma chess and num so Emma gamer woman some born and one woman some antimia winning some matcha and on some ayasama manijano one some area to Ghana Kasai says Ceramica for with some ominous game and some other coso now ominous game omuba fly and some area call Atalanta na hono Atalanta mokono I wanna chess ominous game ever coso abra one more and Czech Republic and a bonanza say one more you know will be losing the first game Ceramica losing it here and I check from a go up almost a batono Elisu 2-1 Edema South Korea and to ominous gamer everybody some in 6 days time no woman and Czech Republic Canada and some our Atalanta and a China no and some other Kosua yeah the update Abana Spain ameno who could be saying Robi also about to Spain. Wabaka Chow said, "Yan year Panasa Lamin Jamal Ebetimi above from day one and the last day and some our groups anymore. Now I'm to the Basalami Yamanity. I'm sad, the Yanusan Hobertono. One of Salami Yaman, one cousin girlfriend, and so take to Instagram. I'm just Wabano, one of some compost to so. I'm on Kamakuman to me, Mama Warcra. Now we are some Abanya perfect shape. And some area bought World Cup matches, no, I just for Bonnie Post and ye, the all coming answer, Munyabotra and Fama, a Quatano, and some Abanya form, our pro will be able to our Colancha, according to Ghana, and so on, and a Nimdi Alcoswo, and I just want me who said, Nura, you'll be about to cover your point today, and said no cause for alarm, where you have some of Bano and some area to was say a bedroom matches, and so no, not just Aquadano. And some form I come physically. You mean some other Kokama and some Adiamano. Now Portugal for Euro Studios. Now Ronaldo other Portugal team. One some training session I shall see. One some I am Kurani. Now no Portugal for them sir. One some any bro because Namia Tuma. One more boy a DR Congrano. I 17th of this month. And I just one game about Wednesday next week and Portugal for no. One some Jumadia Cosolina, wouldn't say Portugal, and say a bar, a young friend who are one of us not drum as a training, Nipoba Cooper, and Camilla, so what just somebody in also foul, and then I Ronaldo Croya, one just say, what J. I just somebody in and some for beer chantia, and your Ronaldo, Ama Chesene, and also some I Jeffrey, and your Portugal, and a player Omutron, and I say, and some at the Abana Francinina, your friend Michael Lisi. What him say walk up place yeah what him say be a boom about me shine I was out tournament to Michael Olise you be no and some account pa now Olise come on ana Geminian Sabrino one what you kwakwa twika say Yakas will be a emotional person. One kaho. Now, Jinja on kaho and some and say one casan on reactio. Now, same way said the amount for Bubu Kana Sama. None of Bua Fum now dear Tam Nebia just one why Yakanasano. One of my kilo listen and your Safran Biono. I'm saying one Mawaka one shed and few cry. Into no beer where you're super emotional. And I said the amount for me and some ayano. Now, say Ayana ni probably to make criticize in Bapenum and some any players I can wouldn't say Mbappe Diano and Osman Dembele one in a defender in Bapen and who cross Spain I will be also share 40 goals and yet today and a year day we are in Mbappe now share 100 goals now Real Madrid woman to me and the Champions League woman to me and La Liga and woman as well not just some goals I was no and for so be so and Dembele say Cinema for me criticizing Mbappe and some our Spain was say and one now or say unfair so Moka say be a mood dinner tam dia fra na chasamoni Mbappe no and some year Christmas Mbappe there will be also an incredible player aside I born our pitch no off the pitch Dembele say Mbappe or any papa now obi anim so Mbappe fa yonko anya na ache say ban national side ban club side kwana so ne Mbappe cross ball kakra ema PSG ansana Mbappe som eja ho ensom akona ono fusa wo betimi criticize but ebi mu yama bro so chese na too much ensom ademano na de all kan nyina ensom ade say Mbappe atwetwe ne socks a problem one twetwe a problem what you want a problem entiano acha say adebia obeyabia no enipa ebeka wansam adebia Mbappe som ebeyabia no ayedia obenya nipa no bia womosom ebe blast no eno na office enye fair ensom abo boy ne side wonu yeso a defender on one kasa teammate ye fano say Mbappe Dembele ensom anu no na Dembele no mo busana ba Leo Messi ansa Dembele so de Messi na down for pa what you Messi mu bobo wie na wa gene top no wa gene down wa sanjene boot and some tari asoso ana Dembele say sha Leo Messi na mo hwa ne sana ebi cha sai ana o se the World Cup no wa jibi ntiano ano no ana Leo Messi wa yemre ana denten no Dembele say Leo Messi age 38 ayobia so mo mani ankon ho a wo betimi asanche World Cup no biem na denti o 3 year pass Leo ensom na betimi age World Cup no biem no ana sa ball aye boy one wa kasa oye the best I no Dembele ensom ani ahu ana chase ban football an kasa player bien ho a one Dembele edna ni ahu asani panu ni panu ba Leo Messi ana sa wo be ya se bia Leo age 4 years ago I have 4 years on and then Leo Messi and Timmy Abama and you want to because Leo Messi no ebetimi akom ama World Cup asa Argentina for no dia enti awase France no wo som amomani edawo na ye kan nyame anu motena ensom anajo ana Brazil wo team ebebo mu game no mami Alisson Becker no ensom adinkoma awani a ye fa no press conference as you say wo bianum say name and dem say bad die pass first game no one some ebetimi aboye train say coach I fano Carlo Ancelotti one ababa ama press conference no one some ababe oyewia and you both say bia dabai and name no and some ababo and you be second game name ababo and I say bia third game no and name ababo and I say empo one first match no kwan name ebenya minute ni bia bo and I so ba me say already Eddie Kamaba to Canana Yabatray Ayancelotti but Alisson Becker edin commandano pay said ya omunyina transfer World Cup no wamosom abeje edie so mo na so nyina ro yabatie aye Brazil goalkeeper ya fan Alisson Becker yentie no.
Well, I think I manage it looking the same way as everyone have to look in the ordinary life. You have to choose how you're going to deal with the difficult things, difficult moment that you go through your life, and I choose to learn from the past, and I choose to move forward, to look for the possibility I have in front of me, and he's a big possibility, a big opportunity, big privilege, and I feel blessed to be here and have the chance to try to win another World Cup. Well, I think I managed it.
Goalkeeper fan say Alisson Becker na chese one o dwene kakra de twitwa wa brene say wanya chance wa ba opportunity any we when say be a World Cup betimi ere Brazil man no ensom age ere akwa eno aye update ba yemro aye transfers ne mo na ma me abronche one say Victor Munoz na Victor aye Munoz aye obi obo ensom ere ma bobokua ye fan Osasuna onsa akwadan already no na medical ya baba to onim say Real Madrid aye club bakua wo betimi exercise say aye buyback option and be to FC Barcelona wo monsom apa akwadano na aye kase no latest wo buy no transfer mo apart from the any kind ya balo nyina chasa and Real Madrid for no say and ya say buyback omo edebe ya tuma ente Victor Munoz aye obi ene wo mo fa ne mabiom ti de minya and say agent no ene bobo kwa fa no say Newcastle United and so mo sha say so mo kasa kra no enye na omo ba so mo de akodan na ye fa no Victor Munoz also pa aye Premier League no na apart from Newcastle wo say clubs no be our Premier League no kasa but as of now there Jameson can say aye likely say Newcastle for there no ana chese no enso betimi abaso na Newcastle there no betimi abaso dia report amenya no say akodan no one Newcastle omawie until 2031 na chese boy no sign a 5-year contract and 40 million euros and abobokua ye fa say Newcastle ebetua and some adiyama Osasuna wo mu twa can Osasuna Makacho dada say Real Madrid our 50% and no a future resale and I say e be a future sale in today say omu to no mo je aye 40 na Madrid and some abakwa kwaje aye nia ye kan say aye 20 million euros say wo mu bonus kan mo 50% e wa bra no and some aye update na no pay no e free amaso so table na report amenya no say Real Madrid Makacho so transfer market no wo mu nwe omoda so ye adwumaden pa na Madrid for no full say some omunya former player ema na be assistant coach ema Josan Kano ema ensom ababuwa pa na obekai say ye be ka Pepe ema later me the Barca Pepe no wonya ma eno cry somewhere at the beginning of this week and Barca Pepe wonya ma na me say manager na wo mu dira ba Jose Mourinho yes we propose aye Ricardo Carvalho what aye Carvalho maybe a no we bo aye Madrid on the same manager and some aye Juma Chelsea omutim no metisa Carvalho eyo na aye kasa no why assistant coach apan and a coach na ye farisa Villas Boas e ma so ni adentine no wo mo abeso mo chesa we betimi aye join interfere and German san kan say manager no propose Carvalho say be a Madrid ebetia semana banu nyina no ya said yes ado no and some abesia ko now Jose akacha management say center back na de aye de e was bi ba already akacho Konate e baba stone no was up biem ensom area so na mete say Jose ensom say Benfica wo center back na ye fa no Thomas Araujo also Thomas Araujo so yobia ye bi ka be kasa clubs ni bi e Premier League ni mo wo ma link boy no to ho enu achi na ba Spain no ani ade omo a na be flash aye Barcelona Thomas Araujo eni akodano mete say Jose som akwamba mu a wo be pe so be sane akodano aye adwuma adiama aboboku a ye fa no sa Real Madrid ana Jose abai wonum sa Eda Militao ye Brazil akodano na Militao say Womu nyina no say womu motivation ekosoro na Militao say wo hwere mu sa next season ebe chance ye said ebe a woni manager no so ebe start adwuma wonu no tirim ane na adwemu dia bra em so tiri pass bibia betimi yakoye e wa bra na womu betimi build one big family a chese no ye said ye na ye kase no ayade say Militao so ade abanti kam ye say em so players no mo na ne ye pass omodi coach ye for say Jose ensom anaba wonum say center back en come na ye kana no matisa aye Dortmund aboina ye fan say Nico Schlotterbeck ensom ayobi a Jose mo apa no e Madrid anu kware enye ne ni dina be ba madruba bi kwana Barcelona ensom aninamu na metisa boy no e camp e Chelsea World Cup ni mo wo koye djuma ma Germany na Germany no nyina no say akwata no report amenya no say so ya aware say omaino anase bia club ye fan say aye Madrid ensom epeno na say Madrid enso epeno dia wo say obeso onya aye concentration at the ball aye World Cup ni wi ansana wo be take a decision wo ensom attacking ti akola no dia no enso ahya ba na Galatasaray ana Real Madrid and Juve wo mo say Eduardo Camavinga wo say Camavinga ayobia Madrid for no abeso mo jano kwan eno ya be kan dada na ye say Galatasaray omani abre and what Juventus akoda na ye fano Kefron Turam our ball as a midfielder Emma club no one also Kefron ayobi ademinya no say Galatasaray for no and some anya property say and you must see ko anybody ya drew there e just say Rodri I was in a kanama Man City no and you say Rodri and aye Madrid and come on ebenya basu answer to be me sorry den but na die em say sɛ si Rodri no ensom stay ewo momoku a ye fa no sɛ Man City ama kyɛsɛ no ensom update ba na woko ɛyɛ Barcelona sɛ bonsafo no manager no wɔ fie ana wɔ hyehyɛ team no maka kyerɛ sɛ enkyɛ ɔmo ba start wɔn preseason no pay wɔn de aba sɛ Alejandro Balde ayobi a wɔn nka sɛ ɔmo tɔn na offers there akabi aba sanka Barcelona ɛbɛtɔn anka Balde wɔn gya ne krakra dada ɔmo ntɔn enti akwada no ɛka manager no plans no ho for nyame adama next season ya ɛno nso ɛbɛhyɛ aseɛ enti ɛno yɛ sɛdeɛ Barca fa no de aba na yɛka ɛyɛ Barca team no ɔnsa João Cancelo meka kyerɛ sɛ Al Hilal wɔn nso akɔti ɛyɛ 50 million sɛ ɛnom ana wɔn gye ansana wɔn ma João Cancelo akɔso abɔ ɛnso ɛde ama Barcelona anɔpɛ yɛba studios ana mepeke sɛ player no yɛsɛ nkɔmɔ na ɔmu di sanka bi a Hilal ɛbɛgye mu krakra na nka boy na babɛyɛ Barca property no ɛm sɛ Hilal fɔ no sɛ dabi sɛ sika na Barca de ba no ɛnsɔ no nti asom now report a meme sɛ ka no biam ɛnsom ɛno sɛ nkɔmɔ no ɛm sɛ apem gye sɛ bi a Barca ɛyɛ ɔmadwen sɛ wɔn bɛsa akɔ back ɔma nkɔ back adi a na neɛ asom now no biribiara kyerɛ sɛ akɔda no ɛnyɛ adeɛ sɛ ɔbɛtumi atoa so ade ama ɛyɛ Barcelona gye sɛ wɔn sa Kenya nkɔmɔ no biem na afei Barcelona ɛkɔm asɛm foforɔ ansana ɛkwan no bie ama João Cancelo abɔ ɛde ama Barca nkyɛ sɛ deɛ ɛm sɛ nkɔmɔ no anya apem ɔn sɛ ɛbɛtɔ dwa sɛ Ter Stegen ganam so no akasa tena sɛ hu sɛ ɔbɛyɛ ma recover meyɛ captain enti me sɛ ba Barcelona ɛbɛha o also coach Ronya no kra no unua yɛ bi afɛ no gu so recovery ɛno nso ɛba sɛ de ɔno nso asipɛ no na yɛse ɛyɛ Ajax ɔmo team na di ka ba sɛ Ajax for say wɔmo pɛ ɛyɛ Ter Stegen no meti sɛ ɛyɛ Ajax ɔmo ankasa coach ayɛ fa no sɛ Michel no yɛse ma club no nso monitor sɛdeɛ na recovery ensom ebesi akontisa koba se bi omohwe na bi asen no ebeboa Ajax enko de a wo nsom ade Ter Stegen ebeba na mo nso mohwe na se nya de se bi anom ebeboa team no de a enya de se Ter Stegen no wo nsom ebenya chance ababo ediama club a ye fa no sa Ajax Inter Milan team no Inter for se ye want to just say na ye kasa Ethiopia ayam team Inter nyame yarma kwasiada Ethiopia so sa tobi nti wabane kaba tio yababa na unusa Inter team no report amenya no say Marcus Thuram wo mo so mo kyesa aya between 60 and kosi 70 million euros eno ensom aya amount a wo mo demand ansa no mama kwan ama kyesania e kan say Marcus Thuram no wono som akontu team say player no wo mo nya omobaton no mo pa ne pa wo from some edenaba wo mo nya omobaton no nyina no e kyesa amount ana ma kotie say why ready so no Marcus Thuram ya juma wo fan free of charge no bom wo fan free of charge and wo say 60 ekosi 70 million euros ano some update by Juve makacho sensachra ebeba na dia me say kan say Juve coach Luciano Spalletti na wodwapa na jinja wodwa is ofu say Damian Komoli are disappointed no na Damian Komoli are disappointed no sir Damian Komoli no ekoshane bo sa what the Liverpool goalkeeper na ye fan Alisson Becker ebeba ena kowi ase wontimi amfa Alisson Becker ama ntama coach no edi ho yaw na Damian Komoli ye kana asem ene Friday ene ana Damian no say coach no some other step it down and as yes we see no one other step it down omo pam no it also free akunya no so na nipa wo fro enso bana onom other fa akunya na ye kasai aye Francois Modesto why technical director one also other call because you want to throw no wo full salases na modon bon enya na wo fam empanfo mu nyina no wo mantimi anya omadwuma ye nti ose kwan bi aso no wo mu dwo mu nyina so kwan wonum se na no penso ye menya say Arsenal say omo target no de no me beka Manu Koni timi san ko biom ene no sa aye Ali Junior Krupi say PG for no de wo manya wuru aye boy out na Arsenal no me tese Mikel Arteta he tese sabio wabɔ akwadaa wei ho dam a Mikel no nya akwadaa wei ɛna yɛ kɛse a anka ɔbɛfa no sɛ nwa na apart from Junior Krupi a kyɛ sɛ manager no ne abere no woyɛ awɛ dada sɛ Morgan Rogers ɛnso aka o na Morgan Rogers ɛnso ɔyɛ bi a coach no ɛpɛ no paa na yɛsɛ ɔyɛ duro bɛtumi bi asɛ Arsenal ɛnso ɛbɛbake no ɛsan sɛ na wɔde Premier League aba ɛne so wɔka so pɛ Morgan Rogers wɔka so pɛ Junior Krupi a ɛwɔ sɛ mo te banyɛ saa mobɛtena hɔ a na afei opponent no ebi mu ɛnso akɔfa nkwadaa wei ɛnso ade kɔ na Pedro Porro ana yɛaka kyerɛw sɛ Man City ɛpɛnamana aba bɛbɔ 2 na the Spaniard ɛne na wɔn mu bisa no wɔ Spain ɛka mpɛ sɛ yɛse Man City ɛpɛw boy no wɔn bɛ so bɛdi nkɔmɔdi afa ne daakye nti ɔse ɔno deɛ baabi an attention ɛwɔ ɛyɛ kyɛ sɛ World Cup no na ɛnɛ kora ɔkasa sɛ no agent ɛfrɛ no a wɔpa ɔmpeke wɔpa ɔbɛpeke ɛna so ɔpeke ne agent ɛnso kɔɔ nso a wɔbɛka kyerɛ agent ne sɛ wɔma no ma World Cup no wie ɛde sɛ bia sɛ yɛ Man City o sɛ yɛ hwan sɛ yɛ team bɛn ne ade wɔnyɛ ready so ɔbɛdiscuss ɛyɛ ne future ɛwɔ abra World Cup no ɛno nso nagu so ɛkɔ soɔ na deɛ me nsa ka no sɛ sankeka sikasɛm deɛ a ɛne yɛnka West Ham aberanteɛ no a yɛfa no sɛ Mateus Fernandes ɛyɛ obi a anka Man U mmerɛ because sika Man U foɔ dema no no yɛsɛ boy na gye sɛ so sɛ so wɔ bɔn agye atom sɛ wɔbɛgye sɛ ska no deɛ aka ɛne sɛ Manchester United ɛne bɔbɔku a yɛfa no West Ham ɛnso ɛbɛwie wɔm ne West Ham ɛtumi wie da no ne yɛakɔda no ɛnso ɛbɛba ansom no deɛ wɔbianom sɛ clubs ɔmo pɛ boy no ɛnso dɔɔso paa nti yi sɛ Man U foɔ no wɔm nso ayɛ ɔmo nneɔma yie ebiam no wonim sɛ Manchester United mɛte sɛ ɔmo technical team no a kyɛ sɛ Michael Carrick ɛne deɛ no mu yɛsɛ ɔmo bɔ ɛyɛ Sporting Directorate ɛno ɛyɛ kyɛ sɛ owurɛ fa no sɛ Jim Ratcliffe nom ɛne ɔmo aka no sɛ ɔmo bɛsrɛ sɛ Man U ɛbɛbɔ Champions League competition ɛbɛdɔso paa na ɔmo tiri yɛ pa sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ bi ɔmo tɔ ɛyɛ center back ɛnsom ɛde ba na center back no wɔn fu sɛ bi around by 70 million pounds wɔn nso ɛbɛnya bi ɛno sɛ wɔde 70 million pounds ɛkɔ market ɛnsom akɔpɛ center back ɛde a ɛnyɛ player bi akeke o ɛnti Michael Carrick ɛne ne coaching staff no ɛna ɔmo de request akɔkɔtɔ wɔn anim so ɔmo mpɛ player wɔn nso ɛyɛ adeɛ power ɛkyerɛ no afei wɔn nso ɛmfa ne mmira wɔ abɛn no ɛnso ɛyɛ nkɔmɔ akɔ so na Virgil van Dijk deɛ maka kyerɛ sɛ mo na de ne yɛ campaign ɛnso ɛwɔ Turkey ɛna no pɛyi ɛna sa ba sɛ Galatasaray wɔn ni abere paa na ɔmo se wɔn ɛde offer ɛbɛba ɛnkyɛ bi abɔn no da so wɔ World Cup no mu nti ɔmo twɛn ama yɛ kakra na Jameson kan sɛ Van Dijk no wɔn ni Liverpool ɛnkɔmɔ mu di no ɛnya nkɔ sɛdeɛ wɔn nso ɛsipa no ba Galatasaray fɔ no fu sɛ wɔn nso nyanka ɔmo pɛpa nti ɔmo a onyanka ntwɛ bi aso fi Liverpool ɛna ɔno nso ɔnka ntwɛ bi asɛ ebia ɔbɛtena hɔ akɔ agosi afebɔ nti egyina ɔfa Galatasaray ɛde bɛba so ɛna bɛkyerɛ sɛ bia ɔmo bɛnya no anaasɛ ɔmo nya no but wokɔbusa Liverpool a Liverpool mpɔnfoɔ no bɛka kyerɛw sɛ wɔmo captain no ɛnyɛ for sale wɔmo ntɔn no na ɛntɔn no wɔkyena ɛno ɛyɛ sɛde Liverpool deɛ no ɛno nso ɛbɛsi akɔ na ɔn sɛ nkwadaa mmienu na Liverpool foɔ no wɔn hwɛ wɔn anim baako yɛ Jeremy Jacquet wɔn yɛ centre back ɔmo tɔn no ɛyɛ January na ɔmo kɔ so ma no bɔ yɛ Demare na team no ɛna baako ɔmo de no ba last summer ɛnso ɛyɛ Giovanni Leoni ɔno deɛ ɔbaeɛ no wɔbɛ pry afei ɛna bɔ na recover wɔda so ɛyɛ training ɛnso ɛwɔ campo na deɛ mi nya no sɛ Giovanni Leoni ɛne Jeremy Jacquet deɛ no Liverpool mpɔnfoɔ no adeɛ ɔbɛso ɔmo yɛ no sɛ wɔn bɛma nkwadaa no mmienu opportunity ama ɔmo anya bia bɔdɛ mɔmo no ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ chance ɛba sɛ Liverpool team no wɔn bɛtumi atɔ proven centre back a wɔn ntɔ opportunity no ba nkoa deɛ a wɔn ɛbɛtaki na mɔmo no for now deɛ nkwadaa no mmienu ɛnso ɛbɛnya playing time na Adam Walton ɔnsa Adam Walton ɛwɔ Crystal Palace ɛnyɛ nnɛ ɛne yɛbɛka kyerɛ sɛ Liverpool ɛpɛ no nansɛn ɛte kɔdae ɛma midfielders foforɔ bi no mo din no ebeba bayani adena ba bi asem na kwakopie no ensom ane say Liverpool aya da boy no pa omo penansem papa enne ya se Liverpool nya chance say wo som aba sign Adam Wotena report am say kan say wo mo aba fa say yes eye Spain wo mo clubs ni bi akọ boy no ho ane yes say eye team ne ka chan say ha wodia unu Liverpool for no aye dinsa no said the omani asia bre akoda no manya no ntam dia and the Liverpool for no na betumi afa no tinka Liverpool wo mo yakoda na Adam Wonte no ye be hu an say bi o ma confirm so wo ma wie any ade e wa bra asom na ye say no and some I reply aye Crystal Palace and ma Spanish aye club our course wo some pe wo tintinano pe no jaminya no say Liverpool for you mo kakra bia wo mo some abefa ana Man City say one super Chelsea a boy na ye fano Malo Gusto ansa Gusto no na Enzo Maresca edini di eye dwumadi bi na ye se Maresca tiri pasa akoda no nya no enso edina City anko pepa na said ya bayanka ebeboa ma ne system no no so aye simple asuse bi a Chelsea ebeton and I say Chelsea Omontono ye monitor will say no so besiako na Mankukuraya on the future no pay made a buy but from boy company we say the situation open no and some and say Sebastian on stay our Chelsea overstay and a basa omoka so manyeska enti onkodia wono som abeko na se komase bi offer biba na se offer na bana to so munko na bi Chelsea ebe so bi akuku we so pro na ye de anka yo na obekwa na betena de a wono som abejepeni asesa na nioma na cheso no so join either say ebia Barca and a Deba and as Atletico and a Deba na sampo Real Madrid and the Baba. One of some betting Jasana Fe, one of some join it, and no, I said, yes, city, our brown common, you know, yet Emma, no, Peshabi Alonso, manager, no, what if you know, you say, yes, be our Dow, will go so plan a Chelsea, almost quite, no, official, or now start here, Juma, I will come back, all feeling, you know, the minion is a manager, Ayanioma, now Alonso, and the boys will be at him, come on, boys, and I omwa, woman, bought Edma Chelsea, answer, my mama, DB at your Chelsea, Disasi nom, and a Chasabadi Asu nom, and Enzonu Kukuraya nom, and a Chasa Romeo Love Jamonem Kodani Buanma, woman, Jomo Ganatronom, one more Amsa, I was one calling Metesa, Merijanum, and the boys Libia Casa, say, oh, Yawa. Wabaka am what to say what na bono winya bi mo sa for the coach no ano mawie ye twa say be adini na no and some other out officially at no and some I update about free Man City any player ye for Elliot Anderson adia no make a chow time kwana Pep and make us Elliot no Man City Pep ebetumi afa okoye no wo man jai do na chiri die City eda so pushi na omukoi Emma Nottingham I rejected. But in Chilemu Basse, one was some boy no a record signing or a player a fantasy Declan Rice. I don't pay no yes I'm to tell some boy in a day. One man sitting for a personal term so Nitaku and I said a simple budget. One woman na every cross what did you say? Aquadano and some other to me and a Man City area and as a Man City for the because here Kasai won't see be a week where I'm corner area I'm just next week Webe you're from Kogoodie then you'll be a medical animal player your fan Sir Elliot Anderson where we until Omoba say one sign Aquadani and Sana England first game our World Cup and no and some abaso and tell you said your Man City for no one some abaso Yanyoma Jadin Sancho Besiktas Eswamope na Besiktas for prepare omo fan enchebia ebekwa drew aye Sancho one come back metesa boyno ne priority and so be stay and some our Premier League kenemo and no aye defi player na so ye and so ade ba our brano peno metesa Brighton and Hove Albion one so the 30 million pounds ebekwa koma aye Spurs adea one say Luka Vuskovic ayobi na woman some na player no on boni piapa oyobia am some more now some penny deny kase no Dominion is a Brighton team no and so no aye kakra e free amaso de ba abrahom komo no ye de ema ye chefu anano pay and some I show no so ya yenyina so na fe ye fence na yemra yensem no so and I feel live on YouTube ya wo Facebook no dey makacho say Oma Sanjo Oma de reasons known to Omo anti Didier Omni ye di papa Tiano and so and no shara dem dem no nyame aduma me amnua Ethiopia Africa Steven and no Sunday 14th and so old tafo 4 miles and Ethiopia so and then who can almost so yes kwaku Ethiopia Africa no ne Mrs. Grace omo kambum na nyame ya doma omo to akoda ne din na omo to aso na for ma say shira so na junior no and so aye kama pantituo ya baba beta wochi ama bibia ya fanti aye wedding and naming ceremony ana stevenanchi and Grace Pokuya and so ebe no kwasi ada na ebe koso and so A5 apartment ben stage 1 hotel Old Tafo ana saa dwumadi eno nso ebeba so nyame show union yi na omanioma enye fine ema na fe oma bibia nso enkwe na meza sesa wo ho ye yes Africa
yes ya bibia eboko na so
radio
fever na chewana
ben the World Cup no say
it's fever na chewana
eno de chi Black Stars wo adwuma ye
minim say wo Africa
born no
wa na okekako
so hwe ma Africa for na I say born mo do style be
go back to your country for that go back to your country for that
when you my say Steve who here there
omuna nkasa but you see walk up akasa ya stage the mu do hey
and kwada stage
say so the o maye anthem ne bolo munyina wa be gina
say nyina na edika ba be dara so munyina ba be gina center circle no so na
utie crowd eno meni say Mexico for the sheda la obuka say omo national anthem no ma yemfa beat bi anto ase ya ana normal song na raw na pure passion omo to wie kura wo se kura be gu gidigidi ebe gu kura ebe gu omo ni abre omo ya de yemmo mama so say at least the organization has not been poor and no fever na about and you look at even the second game there by and I thought a man for crying interest be film but you could still see people say or more discuss it that game between South Korea and Czechia. So let's see how things will go or turn out right after these games in the born home or the team akoso but many many aju yeah many aju oh David World Cup na
okay say no there.
So sorry, I will a lot of things to do during this break. Leagues in Abba, but they are the daily 2 hours na Abba. Yaw, it would tell you. Yes, we say it should be daily 2 hours. No, very nice. Baku 450 hours. Baku 320 hours, and the Mukumo fancy the Nibino, or say Nubino pay, or no Pemu tutu, no more, you know, there be. Moamosumo pay daily rollover. No. Ene Wontumi ma home eti court ni gu ase no wetima fa daily 2 hours no rollover no wa ye ho adwuma kama na bibia timi akoye
wo new say bibia iku
yeah bibia kama
okay yenkwe
oh just as Messiah Kasa World Cup finally anya ba bedru in ase everybody enra o share game no bi no ehun say World Cup no dey e kwa be brave so a celebrate no and upon my catch festival say one story from Haiti na every day was about omujesi costume omudeko World Cup no and dedication of the Polish people talking about enra opening ceremony no the capacity was so huge say yeah, they really defined a moment. Say, indeed, it was a World Cup venue being the 3rd time a hostie. One thing I mentioned also about this World Cup, and it's 1970, 1986, and then 2026 happens to be the time Mexico defining and say, yeah, or hostie we are say I'm saying they've done that before, but this time now, a very, very, very massive. Talking about Mexico, South Africa happens to be another country. Okay, 2010, we host 2 World Cup now. When Mexico for saying a ball opening game, you know, and that it brought up a huge level of understanding. Say, oh, I could form a break, the other 2 countries, you know, one of the best games, opening ceremonies and I say opening dates, you know, and in fact, a man for any and Johnsa, yeah. The amount for game no coin, amount for any and Johnsa. Watching the TV, so information that's away from Giant Club, former Liverpool coach. After game, no command periphony be any day, and say this situation pretty much sums up the whole game. Tactically, it was very simply poor. Neither team played well. 11 against 9, and then you get caught on the counter attack. Why? Because the last line was too deep. We from Jurgen Klopp, no. Yeah. That was a general problem throughout the entire game. South Africa didn't capitalize on it at all. After game, no Musa Jurgen Klopp said, "Game no who say a opening game. South Africa, Mexico. A mama boy fan. And I said no. Game with the enya kra na ukosi na ukra ubusa no e boss me nyina atofa na obi a obo 11 against 9 yet counter attack timi chew e ma the first day record it has not even make sense tactically na the whole game no sa na kire na mom South Africa for no and antimi take advantage of that crack and a war on my
not to me.
Yo, and now happens to be one of the days I'm a share game now. For the opening ceremony itself, it was good. But tactically, Hugo Bruce, I'm surprised what that's what tournament and I say. No, on the South Africa have ever feeling them. We are hoping to make our own impact on the stage. But then African echo. Talking about this game, I feel say any game no quitting no South Africa for no come back. Yeah, no more come someone say why Temba Zoni was started from the bench yet a bad game watch his face here.
So also the frustration about ball.
I said me say was it the first time our dream says so was starting. It's you I'm preparing hope for the moment. They lost it. So how everything went about in the game now caused for a lot of scrutiny. Tactically, people feel say like first or lady line should have been evidence Magopa. It was a why evidence was kept on the bench. La Foster for Burnley or fragile. On one profile with your leading line as a lone forward. So putting all those reactions together, and I'm saying come back. Question is passport for meeting on JT at the panel also be. There's one lady, former Bayana lady, Sefewe, who did come be found say, why the position of Yasitoli as a defensive midfielder? At that time, not committed record, other than a hormone and a wutna. Or Musa Sebro, Madrid Coho, Madrid Kogana, so say Rande, a semi betty.
Say,
yo, your offensive pressure without the ball. Sanya compact awu. 2. O back line. Okay, let's do this. Shadrack, are you ready? I'm going to the lady in the kind. And then I'll show you something here. Why lady not some now and tactically, it doesn't even hold.
Is Tole there when we have 3 center backs?
He was the only one there.
Why is he there?
No one else was home.
Why? So already it tells you our system had so many flaws. We were defensive yet not as defensive because technically and tactically we were not operating in areas where we were going to be superior because we already have 3 center backs. Now it's a defensive midfielder that comes in there. Where's the rest of the defenders? Because sometimes when it's a defender that is there, there's a communication sometimes there to say, okay, where do I go? Because a defender will know that he's going to want to come in front of me. When do I move out and things like that? However, he was slow because he's coming from behind in unfamiliar territory because a defender would have done a little bit better compared to a defensive midfielder in that area. So already we've got a lot to think about with our system. We only change.
One, or question the error, the situation, say, I'm doing a DM. A DM because at that time, let's be say in Constantina afri on more. I mean Okon so afri ho. Mbokazi Mbekazili so afri on more. 3 defenders we nyina obi eno. Why? And about to Yasitoli. It doesn't really matter. Whether CBC in Constantina wo say I mean Okon wo say Mbokazi whoever, it doesn't really matter. It's a system. You are more so. So it's a situation they get to a center back and could treat it better than a DM there. Let's go back and watch this. A situation with Ghana Blasters because it makes me at any time because of your defensive structure. Where Eto Eric Garcia, Pachokai, where Champions League.
Yeah.
Eto Eric Garcia.
Also the red card.
Also the red card. So Eric Garcia.
Some fans say Nipana turn near centre back.
It doesn't. It's a situation. The situation where I'll be telling you. Apart from Eric Garcia, no. As I was a couple of times against Kubasi or Kaisa game, no, a similar situation and a Topal Kubasi. Watch it. Are we speaking to a DM here? And the DM was America. But we are speaking about the same zone. The same zone was America. So now let's go back to why the lady was questioning. Say, who go Bruce but caught a game with free natural centre backs. Meanwhile, no, what checking before World Cup or not? Hugo Bruce, the ideas and the systems are not all rehearsing in our yaw. True Mexico, on the Shino.
Because men kite the last time a Bruce bought three back.
Yaw, the Shino. Go through this. Before the World Cup, South Africa. I'm more scholar in here.
Don't call me deal. What do you compare Black Stars there now?
Oh, yeah, but yeah, what's something? I didn't remember you were sure. I'm attacking away. For attacking, didn't go out, so I'm attacking. So the attack has been quiet, it's been muted, regardless of the country. Or check friendly games in Libya. I said South Africa should go. Check. They have Cameroon here 2-1. Let's accept Cameroon superior qualities in South Africa. That's fine. Panama, South Africa. Panama, South Africa again. In both situations, 1-1 and then 2-1. Nicaragua, South Africa 0-0. They had Jamaica and then 1-1. And then Roma lose to 2-0. Where is the attack? These games, comparatively, or more lesser quality, say Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Jamaica. Are they on the level of Mexico? More so as a host nation. So game we do on. Assemble come Ibusa and wanna say everything we have been speaking to to game. So yeah, what check here there? Shot inside opposition box. Mexico ball 9, South Africa ball 1 pay. Now, 9% they had shown a medical game. Why a coach would decide to go for almost an entire defensive base for the team now. Oh, shut the lineup Mudia. It will be born right before the Mexico game now. The emotion. Coach Benediba with him, who line up winner.
Yeah, coach.
Otto. And you're straight. In the final third about I cram Raiders and about like Foster. Only 2 attacking minded. Tiboho Mukwena, Yaya Sitoli, like I told you. Jaden Adams. I'm only saying defensive minded midfielders.
So as a ball 8 defenders.
Oh, we are not Odrim Odiba. And now Coluso Mudao. As our 2 challenge here. Plus 3 natural centre backs. I mean, you consider them Kakachono. So where is the attacking input? Attacking input no way. And this is why you understand. Say short when you are on target, you know free outside, way outside the box. Yo, we are doomed. And not giving my who idea be say oh team now we are going to say pressing the final 30 there. Yeah, whoa. Now defensively, so team not so any compact. Let's forget about certain things. And now me shake game now. One beautiful moment of the game. Julian Quinones. Okay, is our player now. Quinones defining all to be for the French national team. It belongs to the black boys. It will be white or black and sad room. Okay, the Seleção Brazilian national team now. The team for the black boys. Why white? You also have irregular position our team. Apart from this, you also know say Argentina national team. A team for the white boys. How many times I was a black be our Argentina national team? So all along, you Mexico national team. You will say, oh, Julian Quinones, a black boy.
Original Mexico team name.
Yeah. Getting and winning the Man of the Match award. In fact, it is one of the surreal moments of the World Cup. What we need to understand is say, naturally, they haven't been a nation. I'm also so 7 so and I drew baby and I procrastinate also social media because it's 3 lions where you done it black and qua. Brother, they become as a Benjamin Asare. So new crosses a delia. Okodakra Onsia crosses. Okay. The first saver, Ron Williams, says, only by a free buy. It was down to the cross. But cross, a low cross. And how the ball was brought into the box, In fact, and now your ball, even South Korea and Czech Republic game, Williams' save was one of the best saves of the day. Quick reflex on the ground. But how I build up the coin, and yes, the BT Baba Ramano. I've always told you, y'all, but you're born in free corner, anybody you're born in corner, and you're equally important. Born equal area, but I had a free call, and the situation is 2 against 1. Baba, they're so 1-on-1. It's 2 against 1. Show TV, so box room. Ronwin was always in the 6-yard box, ushering out instructions. But I'm telling you, y'all, a quiet cross or a move from defending there, nobody knows. But the Beba. And it has been one of the main source of chances for most of the teams. He got a very good connection to the ball, but equally, Ronwin also reacted to the situation. But this is a World Cup stage. Oh, fatter chances to the position, but punish you. Near boss synergy, I'm not checking ball or shay. And I've told you, with 6, show TV, so hold it here, Shadrach. With 6, with 6, my body hold the keeper and a shard here. My count 6 watch as much. So say, me show you an imaginal blaster. So, blaster, I'm more free man midfield and I say, Bobo 2. Say, Bobo free, in my opinion, Thomas Partey has to be there. And yet, Partey, I am scared for a record. And Mako Ghana game, so but. And you may be brave, me trim.
I don't know how you show, sir.
Because one, we are not show TV, so situation we say be na eto ye no. You ntimi you ball on free uncle. We move the ball under pressure. All our attacks are under pressure, so we can't sustain the ball in the final third. And in as much as the ball go faster, the same speed now na yawadeba. When the ball is 6, is very important. To errors, to mistakes, to drop balls, to turnovers. You go TV this will be run when the crab ball, but the DM is very important.
In this case, to say baby, Sisitoli, yes, our mistakes. No, Paten also a ball.
Paten,
no ball, Kitana. On under pressure, so be losing ball.
But we are no. Shadrach can call Ghana versus Mexico game. Error now, I bet Benjamin Asari bet game there. Ghana Mexico.
Yeah.
Aaron and Benjamin Asari at the board of a chain. Shadrach should get me that production. Okay, I want to make it. Benjamin Asari the board of a chain. He should get me that in a fancy way. So I just want to make a point here. Yo, walk up and all. So goalkeeper and I would DM or Wontumi pass a ball no and moving from the first phase. I'm telling you, keep this, we are doomed.
Now no game was the answer then.
Benjamin Asari to watch and I feel offensive for her.
In Mexico,
offensive for her. No for Mexico, the South Africa, so we see for her. And mommy. And then they can't Shadrach a lunch.
Never cancel mistake now, dear.
They say, or born in here. On started Benjamin and the North Mexico, the American was when you see one side. Then you understand what we are talking about. The two most important people here are the passer and the receiver. The passer has to analyze the weight of the pass. The receiver has to have a very good first touch. Because your touch exposes you. And a heavy pass from the goalkeeper exposes the whole system. And to be Benjamin Asari, Nakadi, the ball also swear.
And he said, the pass and the crama born and a born one, I would receive
situations. Enjoy. Lovely people enjoy. If you don't have a better DM, yeah, me see you. And this, and then a crop, what can I say? It's your game, so he doesn't even know why the two things they will not even take advantage. They will press our team. And the same Mexico now punish it. Yeah, no punish South Africa, no. How different are we from South Africa? Panama bought South Africa because they want to have a feel of how Ghana plays. And it's not born it twice.
And they are true.
So Mexico are forced into errors. Now Julian Quinones and you go to their Kwakosha. Watch the situation from Benjamin Asari. The same country, no. And it's now Panama for the car say, oh, Mexico for no bet me, South Africa for no to Ghana for no. Let's go and play them so that we understand the system. If our goalkeeper can't pass well and our DM can't function so well, record penalties, those little errors, and I'm saying this based on what I have seen. Number 2, in the final third, you can say pressure opponent and I say pressure. Every ball be amra, yeah. And South Africa 4 errors on committee in 80% on committee no more area. But Luis Enrique as a coach, he wants to commit fouls in the final third. That is why the offensive pressure without the ball is compact. They hunt you. Why Ousmane Dembele, one of the most laziest players for Barca, now he is telling Mbappe to press without the ball because he's changed his mentality. And then Luis Enrique, Jordan Semenyo, Inaki, Thomas Bernasante, Sulemana, they would have to force the opposition defenders. Other than that, some of the problem to your defenders and also with your own media and your kaba papa. Especially young who you're 4 and 5 on Bobono. Now, Mexico has started joining South Africa. It will big 2 mountains to climb against Czech Republic and then South Korea. Now, share the table no South Africa there. The west south no I'm saying I'm free hole. Table no so someone that say Africa map what that say na table no so what that say. Table no what that say na. I do so what that say. That is how the case has been. Watch it here. As you have it. Africa map no one that say.
Wontumi.
And a table so one that say. Idea who ni say no. It is likely this remains. Korea and Mexico for no check follows. That's South Africa because of and how game the year they are not coming back. How on earth and I can say be South Korea based on that game Korea. I don't nobody envisages that. South Korea.
Hugo Bruce disappointed because say and will be defending say not yet Obesan Luzidia. And then for so defensive game, so to say. So see a bit defended now to me, Shadia. Then me reasons here was say, oh, your agent say be a will close the game now because I'm not. To me string gomo passes no crowd together will be a opponent in the area.
Yeah, game no. And one funny thing there, the person be Harry. Vest was before the World Cup lineup for the Koi against Nicaragua. Last but one game of boy. He had this and then had the Jamaica game. Watch. Or the 4-2-3-1 the Koi. Talented in batter and I asked told in the board of pivot.
No, but
no, or more. Or do Mexico no more. Saint America say, you know, assistant reminded me of photo. What was that player working? So I'm a Buffy. South Africa, right. But a big one into it. Obviously, the dead no you want into it.
Yeah, more born. Yes, so more born. You're born and run now. Last time about the ball. Meza Brenafi, I am to also and feel real quick now. Live on YouTube and I feel live on a TV no digital on the satellite and so also. Blessman, Italy. I'm say Wachiburu ni no so should be in the boss. Or see a friend Ken Diego. Ken Diego, Chiamo, Blaze, Italy, Meza.
Yes, 3 continents, 1 stage, and the beautiful World Cup sprang into light after a lot of things that have gone on in recent weeks. Now, and I may share opening ceremony na edru maybe na Niswata me pass into Kagana and Kobe Park away be Philly, especially when
Afcon you know here.
Oh, Afcon then they say yeah. But the name of Fenny
Wontumi
time na omobo group bia ne team e group no no the flag ne piaba. No the flag ne piaba to say could do Canada, Mexico, USA. And this is a true representation of Latin America and what they can offer. The music, the taste, the Giants Trophy. Nobody performs outside the Giants Trophy, getting closer to it, which signifies only one thing. Say, if we are seeing now but together to fight for that particular big trophy in the middle of the park. Say, at the end of the day, this is football that will bring you all closer. Various things that had gone on. By now, obiati one winning na no obi ehwe kwa ebe fa so this particular game ne besiti e pie man na say betimi a start. The reason why we love the World Cup is the beautiful stories that are attached to certain players that goes into the World Cup and the kind of history that they make. So at the end of the day, Obi Betima should be 4. But there is a beautiful story that is attached to one single player that has entered the stage. I ne ewiase nyina obi ehwe no. Na me starting lineup ni di me hu Quinones. Ana we also me take a na mesre. The first thing that came to mind is this is a player Obiti Ivan Toney of the Saudi Pro League to win the goal king. The last game of the season for Arcadia. One ya Christopher Bonsuma and a boot team. Now, Oshe 4 goals in the last game in the Saudi Pro League.
Obi share 6 Amazon Montias.
Also, on only the new TV so be a hobby. Basically, me 6 goals in me home videos. I'm here to even see videos of it. This is not to say I attack me legit, but the way video me who I watch the game live. Almost 5 games in 3. Anna say. Ahila Akadisia games ni na no muyi go tournament bia na omo kire kwan fa so Akinonis ehye go no but Abrante we a kire me ade ba ko bi say yawo se kurodo so ha yentena fa ko nya nim guase de eti ameka se kurodo so a yentena fa ko nya nim guase se akoda we na ankasa no onye Mexican by birth ya wono Mexico kurum honom na emum ya wono Colombia. Oye true and true Colombian yakoda yawono. Now at the age of 18 years, before he became a teenager, now oye torn between 2 things. 1, selling drugs or playing football. Now ya said you city tieno. In the slums of Colombia, ya soriano panas on in the more baby be pedia dientino. This or corner akosresre ni amani bibi kakroko ton weed naked to ebia. No yakopes kadi abrebushi, no say bobo on account. Then your club in Mexico called Tigres for no. And a behu no best scout and the best fan in free Colombia, then they call Mexico. All kono 18 years. So Mexico no watna bo braware or kono kunya Mexico ni ba papa pan and a try and a woye. It will not cry or gaining the Mexican passport and citizenship in 2023. That means just 3 years ago. And Ogeni. Now, Ogeni and in not on shed and consistent in fund the Mexican national team. Then fast forward, in 3 years' time, who could have believed the story and the prophecy could be shared in Conquer Camino so Bediedi? Someone Ababo World Cup, Bobody about Mexico. The first goal of 2026 World Cup.
Wontumi.
Ewo Azteca. Wo and Abeshi Good Yama Mexico. Konwa Konjindi. Now, this is a stadium a hosting World Pele. This is a stadium a hosting Diego Maradona. This is a stadium a hosting 2 solid World Cup opening games in 1970 and 1986. The skin color factor abejinem abobone dia tonet. Beautiful. In Bokazi, as at last year match, now in Bokazi any so Bobo Orlando Paris senior team for South Africa in 1 year. When you debut to Orlando Paris senior team, when you contract or Chicago Fires or MLS or started game at the South Africa the World Cup at the age of 20 years. Yaw Emre Eninkaso. Then there's Raul Jimenez. Yaw, when you so worry, whatever that happened the last 6 years between Omone Arsenal gamer niti kobo hono. Yaw, no BN so worry. Otienu no Espirito Santo nkomo odi about that incident na. Also on home moja ne free ni hurimuba. Ya rushing in the hospital na ade anche ne ye surgery. Within 10 to 15 minutes na was see a piano adwene di shame.
Doctors no catch and say a miracle.
A miracle.
Wontumi.
After 46 goals for Mexican national team over 100 caps. Na on show go ma Mexico World Cup da. May 2026. Wa she go dia ma Mexico de ne he na share. Iti. These are things ye kase de show nkoma ansha ube deny, but this is what football gives you and the life that is attached to it. tina no na dane ni so mam or tini so sa
age 35
age 30 was the first World Cup goal or 46 goals the Mexico but on say go a World Cup da was the first World Cup goal at the Mexico wins their first opening game at the World Cup. This is not the best Mexican national team I've watched. Yeah, we mu Rafael Marquez mo level no. We mu Giovanni dos Santos mo level. Hector Herrera so kai no. Level no mbobo de ma Mexico no. We mu nuru ho. Having Lozano mo so be your part for Mexico. But I think in front of 80,000 spectators, this is the result you need. Yow, sa stadium we obono, amount for bebre. And they kuta the highest altitude at the World Cup. Emu wapa. It will ba obe break gidi. And the two World Cups as Mexico aboni no ma hosti 1970 1986 yaw ni no mo quarter final. Because the way I set the altitude no baby aduru no. We hwan na akọ no ma obe break. And you could see from a lot of things by our stage near the ball World Cup no. And that tactics in one near the ball. You need players with character. The braveness. And look at the way South Africa players in the dream maybe no omu shaky omu shiva. Yaw adiwe enye adi abaka se airful na board here baby abobo obi a kire se obetime agina baby abobo. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. The emotions at the UCL final is different from the emotions at Brabo UCL group stage. Even Ghana here. Yow, Ghana Premier League match. Yeah, born on a normal day. Remember who game this season, na a game I will say decided to be a league nim. One owner of a club promising the players say Obama will be at 10,000 Ghana cedis if they should win. Again, the stage, the moment. And I think South Africa and this is a young team of South Africa. Do not have a World Cup ni bida. And I didn't talk. You could say at Tom was way or more down. But for Mexico, what about Kosru be an yadi jaw? Aye. What about Frusro no makobo ni biawo? Higher altitude on biano, yadi jaw. Okwa, obone mo betre. But Madi can cite the examples of how if you want to qualify to the next stage, and I will say Citico. And I think Mexico has set the tone for 3 points. They only need a draw. And I think South Korea and check your game now, another reality check. Okay. Say in that group, I think say when you three, it becomes difficult for a third place team to come into the context. The other man here didn't know. So Obi shall say with 3 points, and another person shall say with 3 points. Meaning so I'm gonna put you almost in a position to make 4-4. Now we now one. This is the last game in the bet. Look, dependent on any of the two of them, no more 4-4 now. A money difficult. But what a brilliant performance from the South Korean team. This is a proper improvement of what we saw in Qatar 2022. The movement, the quickness, the line breaking passes. Now, performance in the was through. The only way Czech could come into this game is to use set pieces because Omuni says South Korea for no and war. Se ka se fa born into form so shek mu ntimi ni omomo level no form so shek mu ntimi ni omomo. It is not like they are not technically good to say be omu be timi ni omo pass o metima pass bi, but you use what you have. Shamu throw is so it gives you another indication. South Korea before they equalize about 25 passes. Say impossible no pa omubo mako 25 ana ball ni ko net say son prepare ball ne sa check for ne nam ho sa 25 passes, meaning say at worst every single player in the South Korean team touch ball ni bi. Then o check go na check for ne so share na just one throw in or two ball long say ba ko pe you pem omubo free kick bi sa from that angle. But unfortunately, it was offside against Sushek at the World Cup. use everything you have at your disposal. Now, make the pass a Ghana game anymore. They will watch several games before it gets to the Ghana game. One, in terms of discipline. Two, in terms of strategies being used at the World Cup. The little details. The little details. The hero of yesterday was not Son Heung-min. And no one, leading by example. Yesterday's performance was top notch. Nicki Minaj. This is a South Korean team that people need to be wary of. Game my ball first half, you know, goalless in the crown. The number of chances they had created, and your more XG, and more Peja woman. That was a brilliant game. And I think technically that game, the corner was so chain. Mexico and South Africa. And I'm person may blame Mexico games because opening games, and I the pressure never. You need wins more than even performances. It's under the pressure, but look at the passes, the finish, the intensity. This is the World Cup, and I think South Korea are not here to joke. Nyame adoma na enwumre Canada for bebo mo opening game. Ahomache 1, USA for so bebo mo opening game. 3 nations ni nyina bo opening games na dey ato aso. For Canada or Montreal, they will be hoping against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Our money bo mo World Cup for the first time. Yeah, I think that is where it becomes difficult for Bosnia. But the likes of Edin Dzeko, these guys, they've worked so hard to take the team to that level. Interesting to see what Mauricio Pochettino in the US will have for us with Pulisic buyout. I think for tonight's game, the host nation will stand in a place on Betimenia good results at their more. Subsequently, I think we'll talk about more about the Brazil-Moroccan game. But this is a World Cup. The opening games are setting the tone on the right path. 3 red cards, you'll be able to say, hey! But it has set the tone in terms of disciplinary levels. How VAR is going to work. How the
Mexico red card, a day red card, no.
Yeah, I didn't idea red card.
Because no need to go. Said you know, if it's go no, or man pass no can toward the
answer because I do
Mexico, the Indian also
lightest thing. No, every tournament, this is what they do. They organize referee sessions for teams, before the main games, best started the amount. Ghana, it happens at every top tournament, and I think they did it for them. It's a committee over complaining so but I loved every bit of it, and I'm happy for Quinones and Raul Jimenez in this particular games here and Ra. Yeah.
Okay, whoa. May I say Steve Bray.
That's a competition, no, I shall say. And with South Africa and Mexico opening game, no, it was expected sending a previous opening games in Akoyeno. You something similar to Nyaya previously, but that is not what happened. No wonder say reports in the Basel club. These are the words that Oyuzi after the game. It was a boring game, and the reason is simple. You see, the reason football has been the way it is recently, now enjoying, is that most of the coaches now in the game, want to wear the masks of faces that they don't understand. You see, a lot of the coaches, a person or impressive on the world stage and answer in the game, whilst they don't have what it takes, a full detail of how to go about it. The South African Hugo Bruce a suicidal sort of football and no boy, So I say, Bono, a do level be a keeper Jia Beji 10. Why do you parade a team in a system that supposedly I would say a ultra defensive system, but rather you fail to defend and concede 2 goals? Osho almost set up the new team actually so board na it was purely meant to defend and defend well. But even with the ultra defensive system, they couldn't shut their shop.
And the 2 red cards.
I conceded 2 goals and then conceding 2 red cards.
Wontumi.
So I declare something bonkers on the part of coaches about gaming. I don't like that. What I believe in a coach. Say na me who coaching. Coaching is purely identity. Send your own football. That is what you exert on team na the amount. Inti anya copycat. Near our system we no sa no who football and we adapting the players to understand senior person bono. But to cast overshare mask be trying to impersonate or be style of play once a win yan ye dear. I agree, we bet me a tappy will be the now the abesha di mukakra. But the nay coaches now bano be brenya dear because they want to be who they are not. Inti ajimu na nkasa senior football no motias no, that is not what they are displaying. Inti na Guardiola at dominate a chair onya opposition bia. Anya by fluke our Becca say Jurgen Klopp and in the Liverpool team no na the biggest opponents our boy in the career because they played opposite to the game no. But the coaches here will be a person copycat. Burnley free relegation by or by with a company. A relegation threatening team. We need the quality of A-list players. So a person or boy you start attack from our own area. That is a disaster. It's like what the grenade I'm across when they grow with you know. A recipe for mass destruction. That is what they did. The player who played at that position was not comfortable. Now, in two instances, Nina, Nitin Chair, Asari, and Sitoli Geno. Se player no, ni game na ankasana. Built around the na coach ne person oyena. He would have no issues losing the ball where he lost it. Until sometimes, how players and as situations happen in football, you can deduce the pre-game preparation for the game. Oji, he was surrounded. First thing, scan your area. So scanning, or you're accustomed to that position, and cause scanning, who pass, or be return pass to the goalkeeper. But so both two top as an dangerous. A recipe for mass destruction. Share environment, Look at that. There be 5 players. They had 5 players over there.
So the goalkeeper and crying a dangerous no optional goalkeeper on the left.
And I make I say,
and I say be a more than was scanning pass.
But this player was scanning the environment.
Yes,
that is why we be closing it down with
or option
or option over the left.
So I born a bank in so
yes. So style, the players have been able. Your players be a more high retention rate. To say Busquets, no matter how ube closing it down, I'm panicking under such situation. It is how South Africa. That is why I will show more preparatory games to this World Cup. A results in papa. So I wasn't expecting South Africa to do well in this particular game. But they have predicted long ago. So they will be the first African team to be eliminated. Because the speed of South Korea, they can't stop them. Czechia for them very physical. Almost a game, they will not have an antidote to it. Coupled with changes via or experimenting at the grandest stage. Because what follow Mopa, La Foster, in the colors of South Africa, he has not stated a claim, say he's a player for them to rely on. But we should see Sanders the Koji CAF Champions League now. Mokwena is always doing well. Koliso Modal.
No, because of system now.
Yes, because Modal overlapping defensive right back. Okobia there should be someone drifting in. But Okwa will be a ma. Into one side return na Uliano atekisa sports. So another tactically who go Bruce as a friendly game no ball. Say come ball 200 minutes you had no answers to it. But I wasn't so much impressed with the Mexicans either. I was thinking, say, it was a game they should have scored at least 5 in a game. But the only positive, or the South African side, a goalkeeper that I revere so much, Robin Williams. 2023 was the African best, proving consistency on the side. So he's very good. But unfortunately, when your coach be a star, no. And the all bono, they're purely disastrous. Until Retemba's one a red card now over GN. A frustration from the bench or the before it got to a point now that South Africans were very indisciplined. red card no
because players no say originally so be mu say so ne Mexico be ba at least nche kran ko be ha.
Yes, Osha Ordinary Modiba ball in the last 6 years. That is not the sort of game he thrives on. Or defended very well, but Oko anymore added to. But Oko the final third. Omu game no built to hurt the opposition. Into share there be a final pass, no. There's always a miscommunication. So South Africans look at this. I wasn't surprised to say Omu lose the game, no. But the Mexicans were charitable with the score line. No. It should have been bigger than the margin. So they were not ready. It was boring, uninspiring. Opening games I actually 2006 year 2010 year 2018. This was not the start Anami anticipate to say Mexicans and South African. That was not the show in animation. Now he is down by 2 men. The next game of Mumbobi. Yeah, very difficult for them. South Africa for him to win your baby Fufrobia. This particular group because preparation lead up to the World Cup and then you know say a team now on struggle. Now USA Paraguay expect a very aggressive and physical game. And Champs are more friendly be and did the way no on and it was 2-1 for the US team. But so as a Pochettino team now they are built to score. And now the US team a fearless force. A opposition or Motani or Mushia. But they will have to dig deep to break a more defensive unit in the Paraguay for them. And Sana Omania a winner. I'm expecting US to do well our group no. But Akoye the opening game no. I think the same scoreline as friendly no. A befitting start to the campaign for the US national team. So I will go for a 2-1 that region. US to win that game, but Emba easy. A very, very, very aggressive game. Because say rivals and as neighbors whenever they come into action, ayana there's a distinct game ayana omobo. That is the sort of game may expect to say but my bet will be on the US national team to win this encounter.
Okay, well, Steve, may I say, Mike?
I like the World Cup for various reasons. More Mexico, Canada, and US will tell you said the atmosphere BBS is all of a sudden. After the first game, developments be bring ABC. Now, when videos in the course only be exactly. Ayana ye can't footballer. Oftentimes, will be a own rare game in no Nagrebo. There 2 teams no be share stadium na mabobo 90 minutes on my pong asa. But now the game has grown to become a representative of almost every identifiable thing in your society. And you more football abeshim, and then you na ba beshe football mu, culture, dance abeshim. So now a lot of people have come to appreciate what the game is about. No more they a rim to promote their countries, their clubs, their teams, any whatsoever. Enra my Mexico versus South Africa. May the videos links be send Shadrach. So bet media send here. If the opening ceremony had taken place in US, Kenya to say the Mexico, there is a difference. US any typical football country. The friend soccer. Mexico are known for that. Say American football, say basketball, say hockey. The kind of reception Benya, the whole following, the attention grabbing, and everything around it. And man, the opening ceremony of World Cup 2026, you know, Echo Canada at the same time. They struck the right nerve by making sure that Mexico will open World Cup 2026, and therefore various reasons. Back here, country beyond who still World Cup 3 times. Mexico na be 1970, 1986. Where are your co-host? But then again, if you want a country that can refer to the past, for instance, the Mexican population no more year breakdown the Amawa. fancy the demographics will mean omo mid 50s, mid 40s, and also the youth and so kakra. So a lot of these guys, time Mexico, last hosting World Cup in 86. I feel I know nyini, and I know Messi so bobra. A big crowd they are feeling and so they've never experienced it before, but they've lived to tell the story. Why am I a Mexican wave no? The course of football my banner supporters are sorry and why am I? These guys, they've heard the story. They've never experienced it. And yes, World Cup ne sanswa babiwa. Then how we did it in 70 and 86. Yani ye trem di akonenim. 86 to 2026. How many years? 40 solid years. So we are here to prove, say, Mexico is the best destination when it has to do with football across the North and then the Central American region. Ebi across South America and Brazil, ne Argentina, mo name. But in North America, Central America, this is the stadium, the Azteca. And if I am a Mexican, I will feel so proud. BBBIM Mexico culture, I was represented there. The colors are different. But they showcase one thing. You come Mexico and you come, no Rosalinda, Natalia, telenovelas, meboa. Yesterday, the beauty you saw at the stadium. And they say, man, no, mobile telenovela anymore. I can say, hey, girls, you feel the same thing. They displayed it. Again, the Mexican dance, Mexican music, everything. They portrayed a different aspect of Mexico. Me, I sure said 3 countries. See, yeah, the omugu one you can say, oh, you bakwa peso okwa. You will never choose Mexico because your perception they say, oh, come on, sure. Baby girl.
Oh, about you cram and say who you cry. Me and I'm say medin, but my emre.
Why
means me and now say debut. And I'm say my man who now.
What shall I stadium obey you? Your bus stadium obey you.
Man obi say we a cause for destruction.
And what's say about Mexico? Yadri Nijina, oh, drug cartels, or gang. But this is a different depiction of Mexico and what they are about. So you come to embrace the country and then perhaps a bit alter your perception about the country Mexico. And that they did excellently. Street name Sabio double crani ashen Mexico color. Video back double nam street mo ashen Mexico jesi and on nam hono. What does this tell you? They were ready for the World Cup to welcome everybody. And it was a beautiful sight. As our now Kwado, and you will love to be there to enjoy the atmosphere and everything. Now, to the opening game, I think that the Mexico but they were even lenient or merciful on the South Africans. To some extent, if Mexico were ruthless, the damage suffered by South Africa could have been worse. But I don't blame South Africa. Yes, they're a decent team. They become a model for describing the success of football leagues near there. Yes, Orlando Pirates had a wonderful domestic season. Oma breaking the dominance of Sundowns. Orlando Pirates, not less than 8 players no contribute here. Mamelodi Sundowns at JCAF Champions League, they contributed no less than 8 players. The best of the South African team, 95%, it comes from the South African League. But your issue, the challenges, when these guys are taken to the international stage, they are exposed. Because omuni exposure, they have not tested themselves against the creme de la creme into onhunu baby ojina. Born omuni mbo, but enyo born ne bon kwa. There are times ye wahunu, ye friend is suyenhunu eniswadi hunu anase experience no. At times it plays a part.
And untina, Mekai said some few years back. Mekai, what was it? AFCON and Abibia. The last AFCON, Mekai said one of almost post match now. So pre-match and so a coach and
Hugo Bruce. I also players to climb. Exactly. Now, omo Mbokazi ya no ball Orlando Pirates. Says your ball Chicago Fire. Now you have 7 South African players in their squad or mobile outside, but it's not enough. They need more than that. Why are South African talent failing to leave the shores of South Africa? For various reasons. Back where you say, mindset, their mentality. Normally, you say African players, they see this, sika. Sika na West Africans, nini break, echo outside, kobo bono. But a boom a developer. Unfortunately for South Africa, so they are not eager to move out. Menkaso mumpejuma and omo hard working, but they are comfortable and omo content with the little they can get. They want to enjoy the home comfort, and the average South African does not see the need. They say, me jai mayor if I am comfortable Orlando Pirates and now Kaiser Chiefs and now Mamelodi Sundowns, even Siwelele. If I am comfortable there, I don't need to leave.
Go back to your country.
So that is one of the issues. They will need to change their mindset too. And the quality of South African talent. South Africa has given us great players. Lucas Radebe, Benny McCarthy, Sean Bartlett. You can mention a lot of names. John Mosho, a lot. But the issue is, and the current breed of South African players, are more quality to say. And let me cite examples for you. Percy Tau, PA, he was heralded across board, and we all saw the Wontumi Day, Sundowns, Moye. But when it mattered, say he needs to move to Europe to play, Percy Tau could not survive. So the best of South African talent cannot match up to what the other countries are offering. Intimate a clubber. I will not go for a top South African player when maybe a Senegalese player is out there. Until their talents are not in high demand. Omo profile ni ya jatumzo omo shada nyade. And yasadia we will go for omo yenimu omo no. Esene South Africa for no. And they will need to address this issue. Ibuane biological. When Germany saw that omo talent factory is no longer producing A-listers, they decided to blend it. And the Jerome Opoku, Jerome Boateng, Mesut Ozil, Sami Khedira, Mube Rere, they decided to blend it. So biologically, they altered the selection process. And then they welcome players of varied backgrounds into their team. This is a time for South Africa to also have an introspection on local football talent no producing. A good time I also BM. Looking at who qualifies and who does not qualify, and then maybe trace and see. South Africans need to coin, and almost also in shutdown war coming a man for. So they are mostly stuck with the local talent, and it's something that they will have to deal with. But I think it was a good opening for Mexico. Julian Quinones, Ronaldo Kansembi. Or since the Saudi League, it will start to be part of very serious football conversations, and we are seeing that. The first scorer of World Cup 2026 Oba was Saudi Pro League. Yeah. So you might not like Ronaldo for various reasons, but in Sembia Wakani and Amumbia Wutuno, mostly I am so fast and so. But then to the Korean Czechia game.
I'm so kase South Africa forum and Shenibia. Sebia Nipan ya won for Sebia Bimutmi naturalizing.
Go back to your country.
Americans they are taking their jobs.
Oh, they yes, no, you see that move now. I don't think it is every South African who is like that. A select group you know to when one say bad time foreigners in any, but near the entirety of South Africans. I think some of the South Africans I have encountered are proper human beings. Last year, see a call. They are proper human beings. Nkofobi. And I say Omudino, but we'll have that conversation later. But to Korea, Korea, Japan, bobo countries are omubeti ya de World Cup. Yomu fremo. Meboa. Yes, because Asia the omo shedanyade. But if you have followed the trajectory of these Asian national teams, you will know that they have been on an upward trajectory or more frostro. 2018, why would I share Germany and me qualify? Wow. Exactly. Omuguma no yenimase. Korea, Japan have now showed that what it takes to also rub shoulders with the best teams. And yet check here. check in fact since 2006 na share mo no omonya de pepe bia wo major tournament mo so omo pedigree na ba from the Karol Poborskis the Jankoles na enim no it is no longer that Czech Republic edine wo ho but they are not as fearful as they used to be and here back then too Korea has also worked so hard to bridge the gap between Ononi Omo no. They had a South African problem and a challenge. South Africa challenge in a day. Korea players no winning ball, but no moon too kind. First, on winning now, you find say 85-90% on the Korea League in him. Now, what their football federations have done, including Japan, NSA, Omombe use school, no more use football to export a lot of their talent out there. Na Japan war player be Maya Yoshida, no Boss Southampton, no Sansuko School count. They were the first batch they decided to move out. When that exercise is very successful, no, now you can find Korean players in Scotland, Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, Oma Center, and then some are also playing in the 5 major leagues across Europe. And me perceive a exercise be minimum all time now, so but permit me anyway. Korea omo defenders Kim Min-jae ebo Bayern Munich, Jens Kastrup ebo Borussia Mönchengladbach, Lee Han-byum ebo FC Midtjylland ebo Denmark, Lee Tae-seok ebo Austria Vienna, Seo Yong-woo ebo Red Star Belgrade Crvena Zvezda, Cho Yu-ming ebo Sharjah FC, Park Jin-siap ebo Zhejiang FC, Kim Tae-hyun ebo Kaishima Antlers, then Kim Moo-hwan ebo Daejeon, then Lee Gi-seok ebo Gangwon, and T2 and about Korean League in him. The rest about outside. Midfielders Lee Canning about PSG France, Wang Hee-chan about Wolves, Wang In-byum about Feyenoord, Lee Jae-sung about Mainz Newfoundland, then Bai Jong-ho about Stoke City, Eom Ji-sung about Swansea City, Yang Seon-jong about Celtic, Pike Sang-ho about Birmingham, Kim Jong-gyo about Jeonbuk, na Lee Dong-gyo about Ulsan. Again, 2 midfielders and about Korea League in him. The rest outside. Forward, Song Yo-ming about LAFC, Cho Gyo-sung about Midtjylland, Oh Seong-gyo and so about Besiktas. The outfield players, 85% of them play in Europe. And trim so Korea. Now they have decided say no first, no. They will learn the best of what happens in Europe, give their players exposure, and then make sure that they will narrow the gap between Omo and the standard teams across the world. And then Korea Wontumi yes I no more. If you see Japan too, don't be surprised. Way and I was South Africa Wontumi Swia and this is somebody.
Whoa, Mike, me say you're rough, you're straight. I rough you so the ana say baba share a Black Stars and I attention so about so fam say yeah who said your matches no ABC akonti was here yeah no my yo meza mama no ahorma na ye
omakwa kodru na me hwe pictures na omotwitwa no and atade na na shomko, but I think first of all let me comment that's beautiful. I want for soon the atade pa so some match dress and yeah at ade yeah we say how do we say wonton wase ana
me ya na team no ye mpesa amanfo bi benya asere Sere Sarabika funa ni esi abre no because yesu you lose your first game see
omomu case ni different.
Oh yo
omomu case ni different. But yeah, everyone may enjoy movement, the social media, the attention for the Black Stars going into the competition. But I think there are several things I remember so after praising them with dressing in style. I remember you call AFCON 2023 na ekente. You call World Cup 2022 na efugu. So obekaya and you this free flight in the catch your attention. But I have not seen the Black Stars go to a tournament and lay low like they win. This is just a simple dressing, not to complicate things. Aside that, there was not so much noise about Ntadia Shedekoe, rather than the focus being on the performance and how prepared we are. any place in a level of commitment. This is based on the reason of discussions, of course, doing their send-off. Send-off, no? Minya commitment per Carlos Cruz, ne full statement, no? Eddie Amaya. Now, Obianka dressing, this morning, nobody is really talking about it. No. Omo faces, omo commitment, bibi actually say ni braba. Baby e duru na nya agudie. Na me pese Carlos Cruz in some kan, Jordan Ayew in some kan during the send off no, eno na me pese di hun command pay. Na me pese be busirimuka. Ti na me se Sharak mo betimi a, komo nya sa videos ne maya, wotin komo mo di ya, na e gina so na e di nkomo. Na e di nkomo because omo nsem eno ene ye gina so. Ni ehunu said the performance no ebesiti akọ we omokoye na Alexandra hono omoyewie na obi atutu ne nan ananamo. The president was there, the Black Stars Management Committee chairman was there, every single person that matters in Ghana football no nipa kroye present at that meeting. It Carlos Queiroz in semno ana me pesi etie ni etie Jordan me Mr. Ketokreku kan nsem bi tato ehun hiame because Mr. Ketokreku omotu ana omotre. Despite the fact that he is the FA president and at a tournament, the most important aspect of BBA Biano, ejina the playing body. TNT kakra.
Guarantee that when you on behalf of my voice, I just can, as a coach, guarantee that when you finish the games, you're going to be proud of them. I'm sure about that. And the great goal that we have in mind, being part of the entertainment business. Football is about entertainment business. Our duty and our goal it is to make people happy, and you only can make people happy if we win, and we are ready to that. Are you guys ready to that?
We no bisa players and say, are you ready for that? No, you need to say, so we take the players and so reaction by meaning say this is a coach about Black Stars and no. There are few noises and there's hope around what we can do at the World Cup. Not because he say or tactically astute going into the competition and or better than a lot of people are omujina bench them or teams or World Cup. If you go into a tournament, one of the most deciding factors for any team is how one united and purposeful our team this city. Oba and a sense of unity and purpose in the attitude of these players. I'm only hoping senior crocro the John just because he say Carlos Cruz Nijina at the helms of affairs and they be any so no more yes and you could do game more no madria kosisa. He is far too experienced to get them to a level for them to understand what it means to play for the country. It's a shall see a video be about na omoye quiz about Ghana Black Stars. When was the last time Omoje the African Cup of Nations? Then omoye psyching the players up and preparing their mind for what could become a history-making World Cup for the national team. Everybody doesn't believe in this team a lot. Obia any team win the which is say true because here the team way to team here they call 2006, 2010. Even our West World Cup performance, I heard to me say. You call Qatar, you call down, you may be a Diana in this effort, and Brazil, you know. Among phone is a team we say from China. So you need someone that could give them a sense of purpose. And when you look at these players, you look at Carlos Queiroz, who has given them a sense of purpose. Yow, media coach we mojidi woni. Ana habia issue with the Black Stars ne say, ana we mu do mu ade, ana we mu do mu gina park so a unhu so mu yi o makoma mabo. Minim una mabonten wo tie san komo no. Ana we mu do onyini trim we dey on person bobo ne dey amaye, on person bobo a onko. But you look at this team and you realize this is a team that is ready to fight for each other. No betie Jordan Ayew sama o kan ye. Say Omaye ready, so mu be make history. Onim say amanfo bebre na enhye na ne omu ni so mo ko World Cup o metima akoye bibi. Na emom o hye Ghana fo nyina bo say they will do their best and make history. Na me hear omu videos Jordan Ayew oni atizigi na table tennis omo sere this team is united And I think, it is the happiest part of Blasters camping on Makoya. Me amete many ajepa. Many ajepa. But you come in no. Near Boy say the way I walk up in the city here. Any day results be city free mobile. The little details in every single thing that will happen in terms of your football style, the system, we need to find a way to win. 3 points, Makachero will qualify you. A more bare 55% to 60% chance. So between they accord the next round. This is the time. And me found Kudiagro. Now I know said this is a team that is ready to give us results. The money who say, Sisi I wouldn't nip on the starting center backs, the Blasters. Sisi I wouldn't the starting midfielders, the Blasters. Idea a play to your advantage, no. I have concerns about the fitness levels because Panama both strong friendly games, strong ones.
Both South Africa twice.
Strong ones.
Both
strong. So the physical state of the game, no. But you see, you can't also destroy what you don't know.
About 4 games.
About 4 games. But they ba kwa minimum say untimi so destroy what you don't know. And I think Panama will also be asking questions. Despite the friendly games normal born, we will have a fair idea of how they want to set out, how they want to play. But I think they'll be asking questions.
Individuals be a party Semenyo be a Jordan Bebo Semenyo Bebo.
But basically, all of us don't even know the kind of role Carlos Queiroz wants to give to Semenyo. You know, be him. But even the friendly game na Kobo and Semenyo Amobi. You know, be him the roller. Opeso de mano and Otuado. You say Semenyo be operating from the left wing. Who knows? Under Carlos Queiroz, we may decide so okay, Prince Kwabena won't start it. Me boss Semenyo on Jordan. Ebi afata Yushaku men start on the right hand side. Me boss Semenyo on the right hand side. We don't know. Who even knows? Say be a Jerome Pokune Jona Ajetedi no Ekosesa. Nobody even knows if Marvin Peprane and Marvin Senya and nobody knows. That is where our biggest strength is. Me, and yes, I may be sure by force self when he blaster and chinemum. Yow, this is a team where I think many of moon now, more casting and pennyful casting in a bayard drink. So almost say at the end of every game, you will be proud of the performances. And I think this is a team where or the work up in the young koji for sure.
Run to me.
You do baby a beji work up no. May our tournament will be full focus. I was in the African Cup of Nations. If we get a clear identity, my unity in the car and a sense of purpose, no, a show in this tournament. Trust me, self-belief is key. Yaw, a dream may be ni susum ni swate. Blaster susum ni swate to a certain extent say ye bogima a reflective players na so. Ya consider ba kwa no bia be mabu. Ya I don't know, a dream may be na blaster no be boa. Susum be tall so as an opponent. Ayera. All of these things will need to be regained at the competition. Okay. It's tournament na ye kono. It is not only about say a tournament. Akoshe England, yakoshe Panama, ni akoshe Croatia, ni akoye ni but to discover a sense of purpose as a nation, sticking together. Ni fambe face the 2 consecutive AFCONs. I die him.
Steve.
Yo, it is a World Cup that send off no Abba. I feel that you bit and you may be strong in a way to showcase and other aspect of the Ghanaian culture and what we have to show the world. But I know I'm more casual. That's how I see more outfits for a honor. A bit casual. I think Ganka we could have put in a much effort where the Ivory Coast for everything.
I aim to my
every single detail.
I'm going to try say more dressing beyond the quay.
And then who no more.
So we ain't seen what Bonnie Yamo as a pay.
Oh, we know you're for say it has its significance. Into no other countries now, they put a lot
DRC
of
for the Banamo usually pass away.
Yes. Oshe Omatare, I was Shadrach. Omako, so 50 something years, I feel no more. They are the leopards of African football. So they were cladded in the leopard aspect. So we'll be finding out the busa. Say, why are they in this? Into research, it will take them deeper. And then we'll show the rich history of DRC. And then near maybe nanka research, and you get towards. But eventually, to me. So these things, it doesn't happen like that. Ivory Coast for them, so was our picture as well. So Senegal for them. So people put effort into. But I felt that they're a bit too casual for us, because we know AF tired F pa tired no much an F, but a bit casual in my own view. Yeah. World Cup tournament we know. Yeah, Juma as analysts. Yeah, the new to tunes and who say we are not in a good standing to predict say bia ye be say and I say be say. But Osha overwhelmingly how poor we've been in tournament. They owe us a lot as players. Not the GFA president, not the GFA vice, not whoever, but for the players on the field.
Yeah.
They owe the Ghanaian a better performance and proper results at the World Cup. When yet dear Uraket Akentio. Yes, so Uraket a yenes or Bebwa Nagana a World Cup na yes you qualify. To because why any dear arrangement I was here my boys no why administratively why any numerous as well. But on field we need characters to act and give it the results. The fact that as analysts you feel say yen ninti so you Ghana near numsu twen ope dabi show just you flag no na expect to win from them because enye baako enye mienu mejitum enipa bi abrabom no there are moments a oko down na wasan rediscover wo in football who nations are falling asaba abasro Senegal from 2010 Ebano, no more Papi Cisse. They had the best attackers over the game. Yes. But Omoba AFCON now qualifying from the group no krana heading until Omo call the reset mode and Omo finding the best way out of it. And now Senegal be the reference point. Morocco sir on share Daniel big boy when you talk of African football dominance. But the knee Wontumi called the World Cup against Spain, against Portugal.
Wontumi,
they've come of age. Yeah, be a pain. And if we are calling on the players to replicate the NC before, I don't think we are asking too much of them. And into all the treatment, hospitality, wherever you feel say what's here do call I be preparation Ghana to GFA president administrative worker omako and omako do baby as a so me call to them no it has nothing to do with the football president. It has nothing to do with the vice. It has nothing to do with one AGS, but it has everything to do with the players. I buy any I can say oh no more per chartered flight or more nyadia. Then we put the blame at the doors of the GFA president. That is where Wontumi are taking on. But on the field, yeah, since 2019 crowd it was poor. The last tournament I'm saying there was 2015. I could do final. A free whole ban tournament terrible. Jordan was a member of that team. Baba Rahman Ewumubi 2017 Omukobi. Indeed, if we are here today calling on them, say your microphone a boshe, a on-field a boshe. Na sa boshe no, mubeti me aye nwajuma, aye the performance you put up, selfless on-field performance. Ye mpesi ye be hu die hu no Ivory Coast no. Inti nya say we no ofasia one no ofa na tie na, de no ofa be ma ne bi obaje ne sa. We ye ne papa, we have a say. o de man ne so a yebetima ka kire say so a o fa de o papa na eja wo ho and wo hwe you have no bigger say but wait there entimi nkoye the set time a yebedi egu so they have every reason to perform. They have every reason. Picture na mu twa mu yese na efe on camera no efe pa. But anya no na hia yen. Ya de ne how you will lace up against Panama.
Wontumi.
How you will lace up against the English national side and Croatia. Ya de be kan ya de because facts no sa na kire. Say nyoman ko yi. Ba mo wa said on the field. Bese capito between to na jina delay ball attack bi na say you know for microphone. So sometimes you need to understand. You understand the enye. Mo kwa na mo bobo a every facet of Ghana about sanso for you. The security at the mamono yemfa bi ma president.
Yes.
Attention at the mamono yemfa bi ma chief of staff. Yemfa bi ma Supreme Court judge o. Yemfa bi ma the speaker of parliament. Doctors are brain surgery, tumor. Omo de oxygen, yemfasa attention in mamo, and massa uncoffee. But mo because a grown up woman are the favorite of many, and he support him. Into Wontumi call Egypt and perform poorly. Wontumi call Cameroon and perform poorly. Wontumi call Ivory Coast and Dingu. You fail to qualify for Morocco. You fail to qualify for
the next.
You see, you can't continue. Until se bibi wa players na mo anesa moye. We di enye racket asem. Enye Carlos Queiroz asem mo amasem. Because before na arrival no, my so poor. Until prove to us. Say some watching microphone okay. Yen hwese mo be. Obi ya we say enkazi ekweji World Cup. Masa oko na yiro ho na ya de na oko wani mo bi an stop you. When the Moroccans were
say yes, the last edition Morocco for
the series mo shegu referee bi e disallow goal.
Baby.
Nkranfo no wa symbiosis alibu. Yenimu. The Black Stars of Ghana are known at the World Cup. The Amukoya 2022 no say the chamo na the Amukoya no Ivory Coast near the chama we are the chamo nyi. We drew the breaking point. It is make or break for them. Anya fe na ye be pampa omo with kids gloves. We are serious and they equally have to be serious in the camp. Nya fe na de we mu ye no bi no omo koye. Me say yasam na yakana factual because ye juma ye share omo born and the results omo nyana. It doesn't exude confidence. But I know the hearing as a patriotic Ghanaian, I don't know me in hear me. Me the say I know the see but on the field mo juma the president has shared 10 minutes wakasa say you have to believe. President, we believe. We are second time I'll go World Cup. So we believe. I'll go first one. We believe. But it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the key actors. Omo necessary, omo share sabon because who adwuma asesa wo ye no waye. And then saying, omo ya qualify. And then saying, omo travel arrangement bibia waye ni ye.
Bibia say
yes,
we have to sing
yes. Anti president it do
so
say
obia in a juma
yes.
Dia kai mumu dia na mo amogina pitch no fam bobo no
edu si an
dia kan ye mumu de besoso
onyina chirimayen president nyina chirimayen because na adwuma no se bibi touch man ka beti Ghana centrofo na get no oni adwuma ana onye se we common nke beka nti so aye ni nyina ode ye chiri me na okura nke name wo Canada omumbu ofu refi Comoros na ye ko AFCON na Cape Verde Niger for Nancy Kromujiga Muzijeni or maybe Omo Bankran no Mabeshe
Zimbabwe.
I racket in a bon 9 and 6. That be place no more number needing wetchino. Those are the people I'm speaking to this morning. To President, we believe but omo adwuma so yeah and then my yana simple.
Okay, mientie GFA president Keto Kreku and so kakra o dem boys no na obi ata so tie.
These men, these boys will walk onto the great turf and fight for whatever. On the 23rd, they will make you happy. And on the 27th, these boys will make you dance. But believe me, we will turn each of the 3 venues our homes. And we will take absolute control of the Green Turf. Ghana is here. And Ghana is here to stay. And Ghana will make you proud.
And indeed, Ghana is here to stay. Yeah, must say tournament in Yababi Diagro.
I know.
They also be a BIA. Yami had my Wednesday players and whatever tremble. And I do back or time Chris and Bob Bonos Satananka Yada. T. Yempe and be a inside here.
Assembly.
Easy said, be a fine.
The great man, I was very good.